Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Thursday, October 5th, 2023, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App, $ ORION or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got Thursday Night Football, Chicago Bears, the Bears versus the Washington Commanders. Kickoff in about 15 minutes. And rest in peace, Dick Butkus. And I'm not really sure if that's going to be enough for the Bears to get that extra motivation, that Uncle Mo, and that momentum. But anytime you have a legend, let alone a legend dying on a day that you're actually going to be playing a game, you know that the hearts are a little bit heavier in Chicago. You're on the road, you're in Washington, you're in D.C., so you don't have that time to be able to give like a love and tribute to your legend, Dick Butkus. But I guarantee we're going to see Justin Fields probably play maybe similar to what he played last week. Now, they haven't won a game in a long, long time. 14 straight losses? So they haven't won since last year. It's been a long, long fucking road for the Chicago Bears. And at this point, if everything kind of stays the way that it is, they'll end up getting the first pick in the draft, and then they'll get the second pick, which was going to be Carolina's, and then they'll have an option to go quarterback, wide receiver, quarterback, O-line, quarterback, defensive line. We'll have to wait and see. But I don't really know what we're going to get. Is the Washington defense going to step up with that D-line? Are they going to give up a lot of points? Because it looks like Washington has been giving up like 20 to 30 points the last, 3 starts. So it's like, okay, can the Bears repeat what they did against Denver? They may, but I'm not really sure if we're going to get that performance today. But hopefully the game ends up being a little bit closer and it ends up not being a blowout. But I hope that, it ends up being a little bit competitive. But I hope everyone is doing great. Renee in the building. What's good? Bang, bang, Niner gang. It's going to be fun. Niners, Cowboys, Sunday Night Football. I'll be there. I'll be watching. And Niners should be favored in that matchup. And, I'd be very, very shocked if Dallas ends up winning that game. But you never know. That's why we end up playing the games. All right, looks like the spread is Washington by 6. Over-under is 45. Money line is Washington by, negative 270 on the money line? We'll see. We will see. But I hope everyone is doing great. It's Thursday. We're getting a little bit closer, obviously, to the weekend. And maybe not the best matchup on paper, but you never know. Hopefully, Justin Fields plays like he did last week against Denver. And then if we get that Justin Fields, maybe this game will be, like a 24-20, 24-21 kind of game. If Justin Fields does not play like he did last week, this one might get ugly. And it could end up being, a 27-10, 27-13 kind of game. And I'm kind of hoping it ends up being a little bit closer, so that way it ends up being a fun matchup for all of us. Sarah in the building, what's good? Let's get to 100 in donos. Let's do it. And hopefully we end up getting a good matchup, obviously, this Thursday night. And like I was mentioning, rest in peace to Dick Butkus, 80 years old, too young, too early. And, maybe there'll be a little extra motivation. Now, I don't know if Dick Butkus had a relationship with any of the current players on the team now. Like if he ended up, going in the building and having some talks, since he maybe was a little bit ill. But I guarantee that some of the Bears will use that as extra motivation, the ones that did meet him, the ones that did talk to him, the ones that did have a relationship. And maybe we'll end up getting off this schneid of this last 14-game losing streak that the Bears have, which is pretty crazy, but it shows you if you don't have an O-line, you don't have a D-line, you don't have a defense, you let go Khalil Mack and Roquan Smith. Stupid, right? You don't have David Montgomery anymore. You don't let Justin Fields run the ball anymore. Then this is what ends up happening. And on the flip side with Washington, they probably should be 3-1. They're 2-2 right now. And Riverboat Ron and Eric Bieniemy got this team moving. And you've definitely seen the offense open up. Now, is Sam Howell going to be the guy for the next 10 years? I'm not sure if I would go that far, but at least for the short-term plans, he looks like the guy. And Eric Bieniemy is getting the most out of him. So you're going to see Scary Terry, Jahan Dotson. You're going to see a lot of these guys be able to open up the offense. Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson. So if you actually look at the names, that they actually have on the roster, Logan at tight end, as well as going through the wide receivers and the running backs. Howell is kind of, I don't want to say he's overachieving because his numbers in the beginning were good, and the last couple games he kind of went back to reality. He now only has 4 touchdowns and 5 picks, but early in the season, it was like, okay, a couple touchdowns, no picks, or like 1 pick. So it was like a little bit better early on. So we'll see how that goes, but they'll run the football. He does have good zip on the football. I'll give Sam Howell that. And the better that the O-line does, obviously the better Washington will do. And I had to hit you with the Redskins spinning logo because obviously they don't have a Washington football team or Commander one. So I had to hit you with those old school vibes. So when the Redskins, a.k.a. Commanders, have the ball, we'll go there. And then I got an old school. We got the Chicago Bears little spinning logo there also. Let's go, baby. I'm ready to go. MSU Detroit fan in the building. What's good, brother? How are you? Playoffs just right around the corner. It's going to be very interesting to see how things kind of play out on the MLB side. And, anything can happen. Anything can happen. And, I'll probably be rooting for, if I had my ideal choice, I'd be rooting for my dad's team, the Dodgers, but they're not as good as the Braves. I know that. And I'd be rooting for the Orioles, but it could end up being the Braves and the Stros or any other combination. But the Phillies and the Braves should be very, very interesting because, we know the Phillies are going to be that third team for many years to come, it looks like. So you're always going to be talking about the Braves and the Dodgers first, and then you're always going to have that third team. Who's that third team? And as long as Bryce, Harper is there with the pitching staff that they have and some of the timely hitters, I feel that that's going to be the team that will upset the Braves or the Dodgers. Maybe not every year, but we saw them do it last year. And then on the American League side, you already know what it is. You got the Astros, and I'm not even really sure if you want to say Orioles because we already know the Rangers are very, very hot. So it should be one of those 3 teams. Astros, Rangers, Orioles, unless someone on planet Earth thinks the Twins are going to go all the way. But, I highly doubt that. But you never know. That's why we play the games. Big facts. Reflect in the building. What's good? Yeah, Twins beating the Astros would be a miracle. Maybe if the Twins and the Rangers and the Orioles combine their roster, maybe. But, we were going to have to hope that on the other side, if the Astros win, then maybe you'll get something there from the Orioles or the Rangers. We'll see. But I don't know. I think, Astros and Braves would probably be the most entertaining because a lot of people hate the Astros and whatnot, and, a lot of teams are going to be jealous of the Braves. But maybe, a Cinderella story like the Orioles will come out at least on one side. Maybe we'll get Orioles and Phillies. Maybe we'll get the Rangers and Dodgers. There's a number of combinations that we could end up getting. So Oregon, Washington, USC, and UCLA. I saw the conference scheduled. It's going to be really crazy. And obviously the ticket prices, for Oregon, Ohio State, Oregon, Michigan are going to be wild. And you bet your ass I'll be down there. I'm going to find a way to get down there and go to those games. Obviously, when we end up having hosting, those particular teams, because obviously with some of the others, it's not going to be as coveted. It'll still be cool to see Wisconsin and Iowa and Michigan State and some of the others. But let's be real. Michigan and Ohio State versus Oregon and Autzen is going to be must-see TV, and I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. And also, this is the very first time in the 100-plus year history that Washington Huskies and the Oregon Ducks are both ranked in the top 10. It's never, ever happened. So we know coming up here, not this weekend, but next weekend, up there in Seattle, if Oregon can find a way to win that, then that's going to catapult us to another level. If we end up losing, which is very possible, to Michael Penix Jr., that Heisman run for him will catch up to Caleb Williams, and you never know. It'll also help his draft stock too. I did a little video on Twitter /X, kind of going over how many deep passes he has and how good he's doing in college football. And then you'll get the haters thinking that he's not going to be that good. That's a bunch of bullshit. I think he's going to be the next Tua. Hell, he might end up being better. And the only thing that's going to hold Penix Jr. back is himself and injuries. It's not going to be anything on the mental side. It's only going to be on the physical side. And I'm praying and hoping that he can stay healthy. Big facts. Oh, yeah. I'm excited, man. And like I said, it gives that little spark of flavor, that maybe we needed. And, obviously they chose the right teams between Oregon, Washington. Now they did USC, UCLA for like the rivalry matchup. And also they get that on the basketball side and some of the other sports. Because if you're thinking about it, who would have been a better fit? Maybe Utah over UCLA. But even though UCLA not necessarily a top 10 team all the time in like basketball or football anymore, I can kind of see why they brought them in. And Chip Kelly is a name, and the basketball team usually is pretty good. They're pretty good on the athletic side. So I'm excited to see where it goes, and then maybe down the road they'll even add a few more teams. But definitely excited for the transition. Now I wish the Pac-12 was still in existence, but at least we're going out with a bang, with a lot of the amazing quarterbacks. But it's funny too, because when I see these haters from the Big 10, the Big 12, the ACC, and the SEC, I can clearly tell when I see on social media when they talk shit, about the quarterbacks. And a lot of them are transfers. That is true. But it's also acting like, okay, none of the teams have a decent defense or O-line or D-line, which is incorrect. And I do think that some of these guys will pan out, but not all of them. I would be shocked if Bo Nix pans out. I would be shocked if some of these other guys, like with even Shedeur Sanders, it's kind of 50-50. Quinn Ewers, maybe 50-50. I think really for me, Caleb should pan out. Michael Penix Jr. should pan out. But as far, and like Drake May has got the body size, but it all depends on the team as well. Because you could end up having, someone like a Caleb Williams, right, who could be like the next Patrick Mahomes. But if he goes to the Bears and they have the same GM, the same head coach, the same scheme, the same OC, the same garbage line, the same defense, he will fail. So I don't want to see that happen. But also, too, depending on where he's going, he said, I can make more money in college, which is true with the NIL deals. Just like Utah's players getting, Dodge trucks for everyone that's on scholarship, which was pretty cool. And then once you end up going off scholarship, the lease ends. Obviously, if you end up getting kicked off the team or whatnot, but that's a kind of a cool gesture, to do something like that where they, can get a vehicle provided for them, and a pretty nice one. But some of these quarterbacks that are going to be coming out, it's just going to be like that: Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, and Mac Jones, where everyone was so hyped and we gave that quarterback class so much love, right? But a lot of times that instant gut feeling that, okay, these guys are proven, Trevor Lawrence and maybe Justin Fields, the other guys, not so much. And if you have that gut feeling, chances are the guys that are proven are going to pan out more than likely than the guys that are kind of like iffy, right? But there's going to be situations where maybe guys are a little iffy or they don't have as many reps, and then they do pan out depending on the team and the coaching and the supporting cast. Now, in this upcoming draft, there's a possibility of maybe 8 quarterbacks that could be pretty decent. And out of the 8 quarterbacks that are going to be coming out in the first 3 rounds, right, how many are actually going to be starting quarterbacks in the NFL that will be respectable? We're probably going to say 2. And then we got to hope for 3 or more, but that's kind of stretching it. Probably 2. And then you'll probably have another 2 that are like above average. And then the other ones are going to be backups, and they'll have to earn their spot and wait for an injury to see what they can do. But definitely excited about the new schedule release, through the Pac-12 Big 10 merger. And anytime Ohio State, Michigan is against Oregon or Washington or USC, let's be honest, Washington, USC, UCLA, Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon, you get all those teams in the top playing each other. It's going to be must-see TV. Big facts. Antonio in the building. What's good? Reflect in the building. What's good? Let's go, baby. If Bo Nix turns into a highly effective Brock Purdy. Yeah, also, too, a good comparison to Bo Nix as Brock Purdy, a.k.a. / Baker Mayfield. So Bo Nix doesn't necessarily maybe have all the intangibles just yet, but if he gets on a team like a Tampa Bay Buccaneers where they actually have a line and they have some pieces in place and a good defense, Bo Nix could, possibly pan out like a Baker, where people are going to hate on him. People are like, he can't do it. But in the right system, and it might take Bo Nix like his second or third team to find the right team that believes in him. But if you get on the right team, like we saw Baker at Cleveland, it didn't work. We saw Baker go to the Rams. You saw a little bit of flashes, but most of us, including myself, was like, well, he was really cool in college and he had that swagger, right? but maybe he needed to humble himself a little bit. But obviously taking the linemen, and taking guys to dinner and, going out with some of the receivers and the O-line and the defense. Baker is a dog, and he's improved dramatically, and I'm impressed. And like I said, it's a big part of why we're 3-1, where we're going to probably win the NFC South. Now, do I want to end up getting a quarterback in the draft? Yes, I do. But at least for the short term, I'm happy with Baker. Now, for the next 5 to 10 years, do I want Baker Mayfield to be my guy? I don't know if I'd go that far. But if we end up winning the division this year and then we draft a quarterback like a Bo Nix, or like a Shedeur Sanders or something like that, Michael Penix Jr., we're not going to probably have a chance at him. But if we end up getting a guy like a Quinn Ewers, Bo Nix, Shedeur Sanders underneath Baker, and then if Baker gets hurt, then we got Shedeur coming in, I'm going to be super excited. But I guess we'll have to wait and see if that ends up panning out or not. Matt Eberflus needs to get fired. He's absolutely trash and garbage. I don't know if the Bears are going to end up getting the dub today, but hopefully we end up having a competitive matchup. That's speculative. I've been to Autzen and I've seen him, and he looks like he's somewhere between 6'1" and 6'3", but I guess it just depends if it's with socks, barefoot, or with cleats. You know what I mean? But it's all speculative. And, when they end up doing that height and weight, sometimes guys that are, Drew Brees, Russell Wilson, Bryce Young, where they'll be like, the guy is 6 foot, 6'1", but in reality, they might be closer to 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", but they're just giving them that little boost because it looks a little bit better on paper when you're 6 foot or 6'1", rather than when you're at 5'9" or 5'10". So, yeah, rest in peace to Dick Butkus. Big facts. And then maybe we'll get a little bit more out of the Chicago Bears. I did end up watching Club Shay Shay and Marshawn Lynch and a few of the other interviews from Richard Sherman and, Brandon Browner and a lot of these guys were the former Hawks. So I'm not sure if you've seen it reflect. And I know Megan probably won't be too happy about, the stuff that's coming out, but it looks like that the relationship with Pete and the relationship with Russ and a lot of the problems, where we saw, it's Russell Wilson. Now some new information is starting to come out where it's actually Pete Carroll that was the person that made this issue the way that it was because he gave Russ special treatment. And if that is, end up being true, because it seems like we're getting like 10 players that are all saying, yes, this is how it was, then that is kind of the downfall of the Seahawks, because if you're going to treat a player differently and you're not going to hold somebody accountable, then they're going to start hating that fucking player and they're not going to like the coach either. And that's exactly what happened. And obviously, if you end up watching Club Shay Shay with Marshawn Lynch isn't a liar. You know what I mean? He's a guy that's going to call it how he sees it. And, I kind of had a feeling that was the case, that maybe Pete gave Russ a little bit special treatment and didn't hold him accountable to the same standards. Because if you're going to yell and scream at Marshawn Lynch, the O-line, and the Legion of Boom, right, and then you're going to have Russ fuck up, and then you're not going to hold him accountable. And Richard Sherman was one of the first ones to speak up with like Marshawn Lynch and the others, say, hey, if we fuck up, you yell at us. Why is this guy? And there was a meeting where they ended up having kind of like an issue to do a kumbaya. And they said, Pete Carroll specifically said, don't talk to Russ at all. And if you're going to end up getting that type of treatment, no wonder things fell apart, because you can't. He said, don't talk to Russ. You got to talk to me. And that was the beginning of the end of Seattle. So a big interview to any Seahawk fans or any football fans need to end up watching that. Here we go, Bears. Justin Fields going deep. Got a man and complete. But a little eyebrow raising like The Rock. But I am not shocked. I am not shocked with some of the reports. But, for all the blame and all the hate that Russ got, and obviously we know Russ is delusional, and obviously in his own world with Sierra. But, if the head coach was kind of enabling that behavior, no wonder he's acting the way that he is, at the bottom end of the tenure, in Seattle and then now in Denver. So it's starting to make a little bit more sense now, because it's not just Richard Sherman. It's not Cam Chancellor. It's not Brandon Browner. It's not Earl. It's not Marshawn Lynch. It's a collective unit where it's not just one guy making up a lie. It seems like many of these people are collaborating like this is how it was. And that's why, they don't get along with those two guys anymore, and they don't have their numbers and they don't talk. So I was wondering and kind of waiting for that process to come out. With the interviews and whatnot. And if you haven't seen it, fucking watch it. It's very good. 3rd down and 9. And it's not to, point fingers necessarily at Pete or Russ, but it's starting to kind of make sense. 3rd down and 9 for Justin Fields. Shotgun set. Good protection up front for the Bears O-line. Got a man. Oh, my. Look at this. Stiff arm. 1st down. Bears. There we go. Let's get to 100 and donos. And the Commanders' defense was sitting on the wire. They were projected number 2 this week. I picked them up, dropped them. Picked them up, dropped them. And I just had a bad feeling in my stomach thinking that Justin Fields went off last week. If I start the Commander defense based off these projections on these guys on ESPN Fantasy and these guys that assume that Fields and DJ Moore weren't going to play well, I said, hell no, not today. I ain't going to lose putting in the Commanders defense, right? And they end up putting up a 0 or a 1 or a 2. Not today. And I'm glad I made that decision because they haven't scored yet. But giving up that big throw downfield is a big eye-opener where I don't know how many points in fantasy Washington's going to get. But, 8, 10, 12, 14 is possible. I ended up looking up every single team that the Bears played, and it's normally 10 to 14 with one team getting 8. So 8 to 14 points in fantasy is usually pretty good, but I'm not going to end up starting the Commanders over a Justin Fields team that maybe is 0-14 since last year, but Fields played his best game in many weeks last week against a shitty Denver Bronco team. I get it, but he actually looked pretty good, and here you go, that big deep pass right there. That definitely solidifies my point. Sometimes when you have a hunch, I don't give a shit if they're ranked number 2 in fantasy on defense. I got to go with me, and I didn't feel comfortable starting the Commanders, even though it's a green matchup. I'll take my chances with the Bills and Jags in London and go with the number 2 ranked defense, the Buffalo Bills. And if I end up getting a 5 with Buffalo's D, so be it. Yeah, but I mean, I'm there. I've sat front row and I've seen, Bo up close, within the first, 10 rows, and first 20 rows. And he definitely looks closer to 6'1" than 6'3". But like I said, the O-line has been playing great and defense has been playing much better than anticipated. And we'll see where it goes. Second down and 10, shotgun set. Fields. Good protection. Oh, it's breaking down. Oh, it's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. And there's one sack lunch. How many sack lunches are we going to get for Washington? I think there's a good chance to get somewhere between 4 and 8 tonight, and that's already number 1. So I know I would have been able to get points there, but like I said, I just didn't trust that Commanders defense, and a lot of times if I see something sitting there, maybe I'll take a chance. Maybe I'll do it, but I just didn't feel good. Even though the Bears are not at home. Second most in the NFL, 18 sack lunches. 3rd down and 14. Shotgun set. Fields. Deep pass. Wide open. Touchdown. Bears. And your boy knows. DJ Moore. Justin Fields. I ain't getting suckered today. Touchdown. Bears. Let's go. Let's go. Great sign for Chicago. Rest in peace, Dick Butkus. That was for you. And that's not a good sign if you're a Washington fan, that you got a terrible team in Chicago that's, they lost the last 10 games last year and then 4 games this year, and then you're giving up whatever the hell this is on defense. You already gave up one big play. What are you doing covering the middle of the field when you know DJ Moore is the deep threat, dummies? Kick is up, and it's good. 7-0, baby. Yeah. That's what happens to you, Redskin football team Commander fans. Same thing, different team name. Big facts. Michael in the building. What's good? How are you? Finley in the building. Yeah, and like I was going to say, if you had Justin Fields and you had DJ Moore, hopefully you started them. And like I said, normally you can't trust, really either one of those guys this season besides last week. But sometimes Uncle Mo is real. And even if you're on the road and you lost that heartbreaking game, and but you saw a little bit of life, from Justin Fields. It was the best performance that him and DJ Moore have had all year. And so obviously they're continuing to be able to keep that Uncle Mo flowing. 7-0. Chicago. How you doing, Michael? What's good, brother? But that's why fantasy is very, very tricky. You know, when it can be like a green matchup, it can be one of the best matchups necessarily on paper. You know, even the ESPN and NFL Network, people can give you this advice, you know, but sometimes you just have to use your own gut. And I was considering, grabbing Washington, which I did, and then I dropped them. But I was considering, like, okay, should I start them? But then, going back and looking at Justin Fields and DJ Moore's stats last week, even though it was the Denver Broncos and they're terrible too, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Vampire in the building. What's good? No, it's not good. I ended up seeing the Dracula movie about a month ago. And that one wasn't too bad. I mean, I usually don't go to the theater that often or whatnot, but that's not good that it's good. I mean, I'm not really big into horror or like psychological thrillers or scary stuff. But I mean, every once in a while, I'll do something. Maybe I'll watch something, or like the Jeffrey Dahmer Netflix, special or whatever. Like I can get into something like that and stuff. But if it's a movie, a lot of times I'll just wait for it to hit Netflix or to hit Amazon Prime or something like that. So what would you, when did you see it? And what would you grade it on a scale of 1 to 10? And obviously you probably have seen all of the scary movies. So obviously you probably have a very good opinion on the old school ones. So sounds like it was really bad, like a 5. So yeah, let's get those likes up. Let's get the subs, the views, and we've been gaining subs on the daily. And we're only a few more away of hitting. We're 21 away from hitting 20,100. So good sign. 7-0 Bears, and good for Justin Fields. And obviously that's why we put him on the thumb. There we go, baby. This one turned out pretty cool too. I found, images that were almost similar in size and shape, and I had, fine ones. We got Justin Fields on the left, and we got Chase Young on the right. 7-0 the Bears. And Dick Butkus is smiling right now from the heavens. That was not a surprise that first pass, from Fields to DJ Moore, and let alone they ended up getting that tutty. Washington-ish, Washington being Washington. But I'll tell you what, even though Washington may not be like the old school Redskins from back in the day, this is since Dan Snyder sold the team, this is actually a fun team to watch now. They should probably be 3-1. Hell, they're only a couple plays from being 4-0. To be very, very honest. And I'm not the biggest Riverboat Ron guy, but I am a huge Eric Bieniemy guy. Like, I respect Riverboat Ron. You could probably get someone better, you know what I mean? But the combination of Riverboat Ron and his discipline on top of, having Eric Bieniemy, I think it is a really good match. So, oh, you just got done seeing it. He said 6 out of 10. So I was close. I said 5. So they're definitely not worth the money. Well, a lot of movies nowadays aren't worth the money, right? 2nd Down and 5. Sam Howell. I actually like Sam Howell because he's kind of like one of those guys where it's like one of those guys like Kenny Pickett, one of the newbies that's kind of coming in. But since he's one of like the newbies from the last 2 years, but nobody talks about him. We talk about Trevor Lawrence. We talk about Justin Fields. We know Mac Jones sucks. We know Zach Wilson sucks. Trey Lance is injured, so we don't know how good he'll ever be, right? But Sam Howell is like kind of in that Kenny Pickett category where it's like, okay, like what do we get? Some good, some bad, but at some point you're going to have to improve and move on and get someone better. But for the time being, kind of like a Baker Mayfield situation for me, it looks like he'll be the guy for at least a year or two. So, a guy, Raiders in the building. What's good, brother? One of my favorites, Raiders in the building. How are you? 3rd and inches. Handoff. Nice tackle by the Bears. Dick Butkus' spirit lives. Let's go. Let's go, DB. And I'm telling you, when someone dies or when you end up having some type of memory or a tribute, don't think that the players don't know. And I guarantee Riverboat Ron and some of the others, before they came out there, they said, we're shitty. All right, we're 0-14. We played pretty good with Justin Fields last year. We got DJ Moore. Let's start using DJ Moore. Let's let Fields run, and let's play some inspired football. Wake the fuck up. You guys are millionaires. Start acting like it and start playing like this sport means something to you. And, Washington maybe came into this game overconfident, like, oh, we're going to beat the shit out of the Bears. But if that was true, I would have kept the Commander defense and I would have started him. But what did I do? I picked him up, I dropped him, picked him up, dropped him. And I was like, nope. I was like, Dick. And then as soon as I saw that Dick Butkus died, rest in peace, one of the best linebackers, I was like, hell no. I knew. I was like, okay, this Bear team, they may not win tonight, but they are going to play better football just like they did last week. And we already got a Fields to DJ Moore touchdown. And it may not be the only one. We might get another DJ Moore touchdown in this half or in the second half. And if Fields can end up having a game like he did last week, which it looks like he's getting there, right? They can win this game, and that's a big reason why I was too scared to be able to pick up the Commander D, even though it was number 2 ranked in fantasy. Green matchup, one of the best matchups all week. But as soon as I saw Dick Butkus passing away, I was like, nope. Not today. I ain't losing in fantasy because I made a risk, and obviously I got the Bills D and they're only projected for like 5.9, which isn't very good. Commanders was 7.3, but just because a projection is out there or it's a green matchup doesn't mean that it's going to pan out. There's a lot of red matchups where you look at it, it says red, number 1. You have the worst chance to score. And then you all of a sudden look at your fantasy at the end of the week, and that red 1 matchup, which is the worst in fantasy, you get 14 fantasy points out of your kicker or your defense. And you're like, F you, red, even sometimes those neutral ones. So sometimes people take the neutral and the red to heart too much, and you just have to have that gut feeling and ride with it. So a guy in the building. Finley in the building. Yeah, I think Sam Howell, Baker Mayfield, Bo Nix are kind of all in that category, right? But it shows you, right? Everyone wants to talk shit about Baker Mayfield, but what's going to happen? We're going to end up winning the NFC South. It's going to happen. So it shows you it's more than just Baker. It's the offensive line. It's my wide receivers. It's the defense, Devin White, Levante David, Tristan Wirfs moving from the right tackle to the left tackle. No problem. Still one of the best on planet Earth. Antoine Winfield Jr. is a top 5 safety. So it's more than just Baker. But if you have the right leadership skills, it don't matter if you're a black quarterback, Mexican quarterback, Asian quarterback, white quarterback, or if you're a poor man's version of this or that. Like Ryan Fitzmagic talking shit to Goff when they end up being the Packers and saying that he was a poor man's Matt Ryan. Dude, fuck that. That was a fucking insult. Like Matt Ryan is a Hall of Fame quarterback, but if you're saying Matt Ryan, like you're saying Matt Ryan right now, which is like not playing or garbage at the end of his career. That's pretty much what Fitzmagic was saying, and that's bullshit. I love Goff, and I think Goff is better than Carr. He's better than Kirk Cousins. He's one of those guys that will be like a top 10 guy, but he's not flashy. But the better results the Detroit Lions get, people are going to eat their words, and I love that shit. And I'll always be a Goff supporter. I always liked him, in college and at the Rams. And he's doing big things in Detroit. And we'll see what Baker does. And sometimes you just need a change of scenery. Were they shitty because they were shitty? Or were they shitty because they had a new coach every year? Were they shitty because they had no offensive line? Were they shitty because the defense was terrible? Were they shitty because they had a shitty GM? Sometimes, you get to a team like Cleveland and you just recognize everything is shitty. And then the quarterback gets that blame like Johnny Football. But obviously, if Baker was shitty, I would be 0-4 right now. Am I 0-4? No, I'm not. I'm 3-1. So, there you go. And Tristan Wirfs is the highest rated tackle in football right now. And he moved from right to left. And then you got Penei Sewell up in there with Trent Williams. And offensive line, defensive line are so important in football. It's like the gas in your Lamborghini or Ferrari, baby. And we might see Cole Kmet score tonight as well. Keep an eye out. 7-0, the Bears. Let's go. But again, if Sam Howell didn't have Eric Bieniemy, then we would say, yeah, poor man's Baker Mayfield, this and that. But when you got a guy that, made Mahomes what he is and, spread it around, and you have someone that's very, very intelligent, you're going to get the most, out of that guy. And then if they move on from Sam Howell, imagine if they have a top 10 quarterback, there. What kind of results you're going to get with Bieniemy and Washington. They will turn into a team that will compete with Dallas and Philly in a couple of years for a playoff spot. Fields? Oh, incomplete. Jeff Garcia. It's funny too, because I really liked when Jeff was on the Bucs and on the Eagles at the end of the career. He still had a little bit of game left, and I liked him when he was there. He always had that swagger, and it's very hard to come in after Joe Montana and Steve Young. It's like you're almost acting and asking to fail, but I think Jeff Garcia is one of the best quarterbacks the Niners have had until now with Kaepernick. And obviously you're seeing Brock Purdy is even better than Kaepernick. Brock Purdy can lead this team to an NFC championship game against the Eagles. And hell, they might actually be able to win a Super Bowl with Brock Purdy. And if I didn't think that, I wouldn't say it. If the Eagles don't make it and the Chiefs don't make it, which I doubt, but they'll be up there, maybe AFC championship game, NFC championship game. I'm just going to, I'm not going to necessarily talk it into existence, but don't be shocked if we see a Buffalo Bills, San Francisco 49ers Super Bowl this year. What month is it right now? It's October. It's a little early, but don't be shocked. And if it ends up happening, then you'll know I'm a time traveler. Big facts. Let's go, baby. And it was extremely hot today here in Oregon for the next 3 days, 80 to 84. I don't know what's going on with global warming, El Nino, or anything else, but last time I checked, it's October. And not only that, October 5th. What in the hell is going on in Oregon for it to be 80 to 85 degrees in October? But here we are. So it was very hot today. I already went on a few walks. I'm almost at 200. So I've dropped 60 pounds. I think I'm like 4 pounds away from hitting my goal. And then once I can hit that, I'm going to try to go for 185 to 200. And I got Paisley down from 70 pounds, 10 pounds overweight to 54.5. So with a lot of hard work and dedication and a change of diet and a lot of exercise, you can make your goals come true. Fields, there we go. Big Bob Tonyan on the Bears. That's weird. Let's go. We'll get one person to start off that dono train, and then we'll go from there. And I really do like the Washington defensive line, but linebackers in the secondary, trash, right? Washington's offensive line, trash. Their skill position players, awesome. Brian Robinson, awesome. Antonio Gibson, I like him. Scary Terry McLaurin, one of the most underrated. There we go, baby. Go, baby, go. Go, baby, go. Yeah. First down, the Bears. Khalil Herbert, baby. There we go. But if they had David Montgomery there, I guarantee that they would not be 0-4. You probably would be 1-3 and 2-2. Nice job. And obviously the offensive line for the Bears is motivated, but Washington still is lazy at the linebacker and secondary position. And the Bears have a lot of injuries in their secondary, so Howell will have some opportunities tonight. Fields, look out! Incomplete. Yeah, I actually had to turn the AC on in the living room for about 30 minutes. I was like, damn, it's kind of getting hot. And I got 2 fans on me right now. So, obviously I didn't have to rock the Devin White and the beanie and the bandana and the shirt and the whole buck fit. But I said, fuck it. Might as well. Might as well. Come on, Washington. What's going on there? Del Rio, your defense looks like shit. Here we go. And it would only be fitting if Washington loses to the Bears. Oh, Cole Kmet. Little hezzy. Oh, he fumbled. Idiot. Hopefully he got it back. He might have lost it. He tried to hit him with the shimmy, and the shimmy turned into a shake, and he might have lost the ball. No, they got it back. They're lucky. God, good defense there by Daron Payne. Well, you already got 3.5 points already, so that's good. And you don't really have anybody else that you can put in for him, so everyone else on the bench is like kind of booty compared to what you have there. So sometimes you have to go with the best option. Maybe he'll get a touchdown for you. 3rd down and 9, shotgun set. Fields. Fight forward. Well, if you didn't have 4 fucking Commanders right in your grill. All right, take the field goal here. Send them out. And this is the best that the Chicago offense has looked since last week. Let's go, baby. And hopefully we can get someone or the mods to come into the room and support as well. I know Shep's birthday is this weekend or tomorrow or Saturday. Messaged him. Field goal is up. And it's good. 10-0 the Bears. And can you imagine being a cocky Washington fan? Just talking shit. We're going to get the dub. We're going to get the dub. And then now you might end up losing to the 0-4 Bears. Karma is a bitch. But again, also it helps when rest in peace Dick Butkus passes away when you actually play on Thursday Night Football when they need a win the most. And I guarantee his spirit is on the field today with the Chicago Bears. Are you, though? I thought you hated him, right? You're like, fuck him. We want to get rid of him. So what's up with the Colts fans? You love him? You hate him? What's going on with that? Now, it's like I told y'all, you're going to need him if you want to end up winning games, and you ain't going to get to trade him. So he's going to stay on the team for the rest of the year, and then you'll got to figure out if, he's gone or if you guys can mend the bridges and fix the marriage, right? So which one is it? You happy his back or you still hate him? You got to think the NFL is a business. So, and obviously with the Colts, you need all the help that you can get, But hopefully if he ends up playing for you guys, he ends up doing well, and that'll help Richardson's development. So, but you got to keep the same energy. You either love him or you hate him. You can't go love, hate. You can't be going flip-flopping back and forth. You got to be, if you're going to keep it where, I don't like this guy, fuck him, get him out of here. You got to keep that same energy, right? Because remember what you said before. You're like, fuck this guy. Okay. And a lot of Colts fans get emotional like that, but you got to be able to keep the same energy. But like I told you before, to win games, it's not like he wasn't a top 5 running back. Hell, he was the best running back just a couple of years ago. So, and as you look at the running backs that you have now, they're not him. So hopefully he plays motivated, because he knows that if he's not going to play in Indianapolis next year, this will be his ticket out of Indianapolis. And the better that he plays, the more money and the more teams are going to be interested in him. If he plays like shit, then less teams are going to be wanting him and his services, and the less money he's going to get. So that's facts. He's got to keep the same energy. I hate him. And then all of a sudden he's back. I love him. And hopefully he ends up playing well for you guys. Otherwise, if he doesn't, then we're going to end up having probably the Jags and the Texans competing for the AFC South with the Colts. But if the Texans keep the momentum up, they could win the AFC South. But it'll probably be a 3-team race. I see Titans kind of falling back, and it'll probably be the Colts in second or third. And then it'll probably be the Jags or the Texans, winning the division this year. Sam. 13th different Commander quarterback. Different since 2017. Second highest total in a 7-year span, because they're a dysfunctional franchise. It's like a dysfunctional marriage or relationship. Not good. But at least they got rid of Dan Snyder, got his ass out of there. So there's a little bit of life. But originally what needs to happen is they need to change the name back to the Redskins. If they do that, then all of the old school fans will come back, and everything will be right in the NFL circles. Big facts. I did see Judy was a target. I did see that. Lots of guys in free agency too. Like I had that free agency list, and it's Devin White and Mike Evans, and that makes my heart break a little bit. But I'm hoping that they'll take money and stay with Tampa. I would there's nothing more that would make me happier to see Devin White and Mike Evans retire a Buccaneer. And if that happens, I will go and buy a Mike Evans jersey. I haven't bought one yet, but if he ends up re-signing with the Bucs and not joining like the Eagles or the Niners or something like that, I will buy a Mike Evans jersey. And I'm hoping Devin White ends up not leaving either. So, yeah. But I don't think he would go to Indianapolis. You can say sorry, O-Dog, but, I'm not sure if he would want to go there. I mean, even if he got money, maybe he would. But I would assume if Mike Evans is going to go somewhere, he's going to go to a contender. He's not going to just go for money. Because if he's just going to go and grab a little bit of cash, he'll just stay with the Buccaneers. But if he wants to, try to win another Super Bowl, I don't see him going to, a mid team or a lower team. I see him going to, a team like, like the Niners or something like a more of a top end team, unless he wants to join a quarterback to make them better. But we'll see. I'm just hoping that he ends up staying. But again, a lot of your teams, want to pluck my players. You want to try to get my Logan Gilberts and my George Kirby's and my Bryce Millers and my Mike Evans. And, nothing against you or the Colts, but that's a hard no, And plus, I can't even picture Mike Evans in a blue uniform. Not happening. If he's going somewhere, he might be going somewhere with a red uniform. He ain't going with a blue uniform. No disrespect to the Colts or you, but I cannot picture Mike Evans going to the fucking Colts. And at this point, the Bucs are, right there with Indianapolis, probably a step ahead. I don't think he unless they offered him a big chunk of change, but I don't think it's going to be about money for him. It's going to be about trying to win another Super Bowl, and he ain't going to do that in Indy. No, not with Richardson and the rest of the team, the way that they're situated now. Now, in a few years, maybe an AFC Championship game appearance will happen, but, I need to keep my guys there. I need Mike Evans to come back. I need Devin White to come back. 3rd down and 11, and Baker Mayfield playing so well, maybe that'll happen now. Hal steps up in the pocket. Good defense by the Bears. Washington playing like shit. Washington playing like Chicago. Imagine dropping $1,000 thinking that you're going to end up seeing that Washington smack around this 0-4 Bear team. But you know what this game is tonight? It's a trap game. Dick Butkus passed away. Justin Fields had a really good game with DJ Moore last week. What did you think? That was just like a one-off thing? You'll learn today. I mean, the only way Washington's winning this game is if they get a pick six, a punt return or a kick return for a touchdown. And I don't know if you're going to get that today. And once Chicago ends up getting the lead, right, they'll end up, doing some really good play action, going deep and going and testing that secondary. I know that's going to happen, right? And Cole Kmet, DJ Moore scoring again is a high possibility. And then once they end up getting that lead in that second half, then they'll start pounding the rock for Khalil Mack. Or not Khalil Mack, Khalil Herbert, excuse me. And then Sarah will get some points in her fantasy team with Khalil Herbert as well. All right, I need to go. I need to end up going and getting my drink out of the freezer. Give me a sec here. Personalized email for every customer, from customers to customers with Insert MailChimp. Have you ever noticed how tours and commercials use canvas to make things look big and exciting? It makes you think, wow, that looks like an epic vacation. Is it working? How about now? Hold on. You don't need to use Canva Magic to make this vacation. It actually is. This is our program for your home trip to Texas. Look at your own. Spot. 324 captions. All the sauce. In this game, members of every. All right, I'm back. Oh, Mango Madness, delicious. Hopefully we'll get some more of the mods in the building. Yeah, T. Higgins, if he stays healthy, he could be a one on a couple teams. Not every team, but Higgins has the ability to be a kind of like a DJ Moore role, on another team. So like if T. Higgins, paired up with Richardson, he would end up being more than likely slightly better than Pittman, but pretty close to each other. Almost like having two number twos, but one of them would have to be the one. But if you gave the right amount of targets to T. Higgins and he didn't get hurt, he could transform himself into a one. It's like Chris Godwin. He could be a 1 on any team either. So, it's just a matter of, there we go. There we go. There we go. Look at that. I told y'all. There we go, baby. But there's not a lot of guys that are sitting at the 2 spot that could be a legitimate 1. Like Chris Godwin, is a 1 that's playing a 2. Devontae Smith is a 2 playing a 2. Not a 1. T. Higgins is a 2. That normally is a 2, but in the right situation, if the O-line was good and the targets were there, it could transform himself into a 1 and could end up getting 5 to 10 touchdowns in a season and 1,000 to 1,500 yards if he was the focal point. But again, it just depends on the team, the scheme, and where they're going. Almost 1 hour in already. Where the goats at? Second down and 5. 10-0 Bears. Halfback toss. Oh, baby. Nice run. Roschon Johnson is a G. This guy is a sleeper. I wouldn't necessarily be playing him in fantasy, but, it's a guy to keep an eye on. It's a guy that can catch out of the backfield. He's got good speed. It's a good change of pace. It's just kind of one of those things that Khalil Herbert is really the RB2, a change of pace back, and then this guy would normally be the number 3. But obviously David Montgomery is on the Lions now, so the roles have to be kind of shifted up. Khalil Herbert is not an RB1. He's an RB2 trying to be an RB1, and that's where the struggles have been happening. But Roschon Johnson is a solid RB2 and a very good change of pace back that could get in the end zone. Fields, avoids a sack lunch and throws it away. End of the first quarter, Bears 10, Washington 0.
If you're going to do something, do it all the way. We give 100% every day because it's who we are and who you are too. So seize the moment. Get the suit that lands the job. Set the table that brings you together. Wear the red that brightens the room and give the ring that changes everything.
Yeah, but there's going to be certain pieces that you're going to need. Trading, Brian Burns away is like trading away Khalil Mack and Roquan Smith. Look what happened to the Bears defense when you trade away some of the catalysts on that side of the ball. You don't recover. And then you're going to have to draft another guy like him in the draft that year or the next year. And chances are they're not going to be as good as him. So if I'm Carolina, I'm not trading him away. Now, and if they decide to do that, that's fine. But, there's certain pieces that are kind of irreplaceable or a lot harder to, get someone. And I don't see no Khalil Mack or Roquan Smiths on the fucking Bears. And I don't think they're going to end up getting anyone like that anytime soon. And that's a big part of their struggles. So there's a lot of rebuilding that's going to have to go on with Carolina. It's not going to be able to be solved in 1 year. That's going to be like a 5-year process. And then hopefully Bryce Young gets the O-line and the right coach and the right play caller. So that way that he doesn't lose his job or his confidence, and then they can work on that other side of the ball. Big facts.
Why is that person doing that? It's called terrific. Are you listening to a podcast? Yeah, it's about multitasking. Some people just know there's a podcast about that. Those are the people who know you're in good hands, good Allstate. The new iPhone 15 Pro is here. Built with titanium and featuring the most powerful iPhone camera yet. Get it with Boost Infinite and transcend into a wireless utopia. The new titanium iPhone 15 Pro on us, no trade-in needed. Enjoy unlimited wireless in the latest iPhone every year for 60 years.
Yeah, but this might be the year that McCaffrey ends up winning a Super Bowl. So even though a lot of Panther fans are still going to be a little bitter about that and whatnot, it's just like Stafford, getting a Super Bowl, and Lions fans being happy for him. Like some of them are going to be bitter, that, he ended up leaving and then getting that Super Bowl ring. But sometimes, rooting for someone, to get a ring that was a big part of your team ends up being good karma for your team moving forward. Hence, Jared Goff. They're like, oh, we got Jared Goff in return. This sucks. We're getting rid of Stafford. And then you see him win the Super Bowl and you're like, oh, shit, right? But then hindsight is always 50-50, right? And then now it looks like long-term, the Jared Goff move is, going to be the best move because Stafford only had 1 year. Goff is going to be good for the next 5 to 10. So Roschon Johnson with a little flip. You just got to be able not to be a hater. And sometimes, it's hard to root for guys that are a big part of your team and then they leave or they get traded. I felt fucking the same way when Sapp went to the Raiders and, John Lynch went to the Broncos. That shit hurt. And I get it. It's a business, but you can't just hate that player. It's not necessarily their decision. Sometimes it's a player's decision and a lot of times it's not. You just got to roll with the punches. 3rd down and 6. Washington playing like shit. Shotgun set. Fields. Floater. 1-on-1. Oh, touchdown. What did I say? How many touchdowns do you want? You want 1? How about 2, baby? ESP. Woo, woo, woo. DJ Moore. That ESP is strong with your boy. 16-0. Let's go. Let's go. I told y'all. I said, hey, you might be able to score another time in the first. And here it is. They can't guard him 1-on-1. Nice try, Fuller. Nice try. Not today. And that's why the Commander defense was put back on fantasy on the wire, because I knew this was going to happen. That's what happens right there, baby. Washington overconfident at home. Chicago playing good football based off last week. And that Uncle Mo is real. 17-0 Chicago. Unbelievable. Yeah. Shady. Some of them Washington fans are shady. That's a little bit of karma. How embarrassing is that? You're 2-2 and at home, and you're about to get smoked by the 0-4 Bears that are playing for Dick Butkus tonight. DJ Moore looking like the DJ Moore that we knew that he could be, the DJ Moore that was at Carolina, and Justin Fields getting his swagger back. Offensive line playing good, defense playing good. Everyone is motivated. And then you look at Washington, what can you say? You come in there talking a big talk, right? And you think that you're just going to, beat somebody up because they're 0-4, and then you'll definitely see who's playing harder. God, I would be so pissed right now if I had the Commander defense in fantasy. I'd be livid. That's why you can't trust those ratings. Number 2 by everyone in fantasy, right? Oh, this is going to be a good matchup. Just because they've given up 8 to 14 points in fantasy in the first 4 weeks. Justin Fields played good last week. DJ Moore played good. And that momentum, Uncle Mo, is real. Don't steal my shit, Schrager. On Good Morning Football tomorrow morning, I'll be watching. He'd be like, Uncle Mo, remember Uncle Mo from last year? What's Uncle Mo? Momentum. You feel it, he says. It's a good start. Also in run support back there. Oh my God. Faux King Money has fucking Moore on the bench, and he's got 30 points already, and he might end up getting 40 or 50 because there's a chance that DJ Moore might score again, in the second half. See, and that's why if you don't watch football, right, and you don't put the right people in, and you're just throwing in Devontae Smith, CeeDee Lamb, and Jamar Chase, and you're not looking at the matchups, and you don't follow football enough like Fo King Money, then you leave 30.7 points on the bench in the first half that could turn into 40 or 50 points. And you'll probably lose now because you did that. And he put in Cole Kmet instead with 2.9. Idiot. I mean, if you were going to put DJ Moore in or Fields, this was the week to do it. I had a feeling that someone benched him too. I had to look and make sure.
Sanborn's going to blow you up. That ball was going down. The spiral was going down. And it's 6'6". Logan Thomas has to get down there like he's fielding the ground ball to make that catch.
Well, you can definitely tell with the people that, and like I said, if you have big names, like that, like a CeeDee Lamb or a Jamar Chase and whatnot, but sometimes you got to be able to look at the matchup and then look what happened the week before. And like I said, I usually will have a couple of these ESP moments every game. No matter what football game we do, I'll have a feeling, either, a vision, a dream, I'll just have like a message and then you say it out loud and then it happens. But I'll tell you what, earlier today I was close. I was like, should I grab the Commanders? But then I was like, oh, Dick Butkus. Nope. I was like, they're going to choke today. And they did. They could still end up coming back. It's not like they can't, but. And some Washington fans are good people, but I know a couple of them that are very shady, not good people. So, you reap what you sow. Matt in the building. What's good? 17-0, the Bears. 17-0, the Bears. And normally I like rooting for Washington and I like watching them play. I mean, I like Curtis Samuel. I like Jahan Dotson. I like Scary Terry. I like Brian Robinson. I like Antonio Gibson. Sam Howell is okay. I actually like a lot of the offensive players and I like their, D-line, but their linebackers and secondary and their O-line is just some shit. And if you don't have O-line, middle linebackers, and secondary, I mean, what do you expect? Some games you're going to win, based off the offense and Bieniemy, and then you're going to get rocked when you get too overconfident like this. And they don't got an answer for Fields or DJ Moore. And that was a great scheme to understand that open it up. You can run with Fields, you know what I mean? But let the DJ Moore Fields combo happen. There we go. Little check down. Logan Thomas, first down, Washington. I know. And a guy on our bench has got him, our guy on our fantasy team's got him on the bench. Not a good look. Not a good look. And like I said, he's got an opportunity to get one more. Like there is a good possibility if they want to keep feeding him, even if they double him, DJ could get in the end zone again. And if he gets in again, and the third one is like a long touchdown or like a 40 or a 50-yard bomb, I mean, he's going to end up hitting 40 to 50 points just by himself. And then obviously Justin Fields has a very good chance to hit 30 tonight, which is fantastic in fantasy. Howell going deep. He's open. What happened to my hands? What happened to that throw? Golly. That's a touchdown right there. And if you're running that route, right, why aren't you having that be, Scary Terry? You know what I mean? Why is that? Why isn't it Jahan Dotson? Why is it Brown right there? Stupid. Third down and 9. It just kind of sucks, sometimes when you have like curses, on certain teams like Washington, like the Denver Broncos, like the Chargers, with the Broncos and Chargers with guys getting hurt every year. It's like, can I just have a year in football where the Broncos and the Chargers don't have injuries to all their key guys? Here's going deep again. Pick it off. Oh. That time you went to Jahan Dotson, and that's a better person to go to, but he was unable to come through. Flag on the play. Neutral zone. Repeat third down. How's your mom doing?
They're off the field here. Now it's 4th and 10, 4th and 9. Now it's 3rd and 4. You give Howell another chance. They're off the field and even in field goal range.
17-0. And if you're Washington, Redskins, Commanders, football team, whatever the fuck you want to call them, get the ball to Scary Terry, dummies. Tipped. Picked. Yeah, oh, he dropped it. How is that dropped? That's why you play defense. But when you get down like this, what you need to do is go to Brian Robinson, hit him in with some jet sweeps and some screens, and go to Scary Terry. You go to your best player. You don't go to the second best receiver, the third best, the fourth best. You go to Scary Terry, and he'll be able to get some yak yards, and then he'll be able to blow the top off and get you back in the game. But if you're too stupid to do that, I know you need time, and the offensive line isn't doing a good job, so that way they can't get Scary Terry the ball. But if they do end up scoring, that's where you want to go first. Scary Terry and Brian Robinson to open it up. Then go to Dotson. Then go to Dimey Brown. Then go to Logan. Then go to some of the others. Jahan Dotson. Field goal kick is up. And it's good. 17-3. Da Bears. And I know I'm not the only one to see that. Like I said, when things get tough, you go to your best player. When things get tough in any sport, basketball, baseball, football, hockey, momentum, especially like in basketball, things are, a little, it's like a struggle moment. You bring in the 6 man off the bench to give you that burst and that energy, or you just go back to the best player, especially if you have not been utilizing the best player on the offense up to that point. Anything else going on in the sports world? If you guys have any other things to go over, please do. I'm looking it up right now to see if there's anything. Dick Butkus dies. 80 years old. 80 years young. Rest in peace. DB giving the Bears love and that spirit for that O-line and that defense to play well. And really, the O-line has been terrible for the Bears, but really what's been terrible is the defense. And they're like, okay, Dick Butkus died. He's known as one of the best linebackers of all time, right? Just like with Brian Urlacher. We cannot keep playing shitty like this. Let's play for him. And obviously they are. And having Chase Claypool stay home is good because he's garbage. They should just get rid of him, and no one even wants him anyways. Not a whole lot going on. I know the NBA is starting back up and whatnot too. Timberwolves 111, Mavericks 99 in the NBA Abu Dhabi games. And then there's games on Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But not the regular season, though. I'm trying to see. What days the regular season start for the NBA?
Prime Big Deal Days give Prime members exclusive access to 2 days of big savings, which means you're kind of a big deal. Prime Big Deal Days, October 10th and 11th, only for Prime members.
Embiid, yeah, I did see that.
Let's take a look at our Tuesday spotlight presented by Pepsi. It's Justin Fields off to a great start, reading, recognizing opportunities.
Oh, you're lucky. Chief had Scary Terry. He's only got 1.3, but he still has a chance to score today. Faux King money, 2.9 points for Komet, 1.9 with Dotson on the bench, and 30.7 with DJ Moore just sitting there on the bench. Sad. Justin Fields with 15.04, pacing for 30. We'll probably end up with somewhere between 22 and 28, but that's awesome. I mean, considering most quarterbacks have a hard time getting to fucking 20 in fantasy lately. 3 touchdowns, no picks, 16 for 17 against Denver with 231. And that's why I knew, and the momentum isn't going to last forever. Sometimes momentum lasts a quarter. Sometimes it lasts a half. Sometimes it lasts a game. Sometimes it'll last multiple games. And then on top of that, with the Dick Butkus passing, then that was that extra juice that they needed besides, hey, we're going to play good tonight, but yeah, we're going to play for Dick Butkus too. And this is what you get in return. And it's actually kind of better that their Bears are on the road, because sometimes when you're on the road, you can focus better. And I noticed that, with the high school sports, college, sometimes when you have everyone cheering for you, that's one thing. But when you've been struggling, sometimes being able just to go on the road and just to be able to focus on you and us against everyone, and then you start to execute some of those things, then things start flowing. The crowd gets out of it. The home team is, fan base is depressed, and we're 17-3. Let's see if they can pour some more on. Yeah, I know. I remember that. There we go, Justin. Yeah, Oregon and Washington Oregon's got the bye, and then Oregon, Washington next week on prime time. First time in that 100-plus, history, Washington and Oregon are both in the top 10 playing each other. It's a big deal. It's going to be a hard game up to play there in Seattle, but I hope we get the dub. But it's going to be really close. Man in motion. 2nd down and 3. Play action fake to Khalil Herbert. Look at that, baby. Cole Kmet. There we go. Good chance for Kmet to get in the end zone tonight, too. First down, Bears. Move the chains.
Sits in the open space. Linebackers have to respect the play action. They sink in. You get pressure late. What a target. What a luxury to throw to Medic. That defense is big time target. Justin Fields like his security blanket. Number 45.
Fields.
Herbert behind blocking.
Good tackle there by Washington.
Down to 7 minutes to go in the half. Chicago lead. Now you love this. Even when it's not working, it works somewhat. It's been that kind of night. Watch the left guard Jenkins forward.
And then obviously if the Bears are smart enough to understand that, once they're ahead going into the second half, obviously running the football will be difficult at times. So they're still going to have to air it out to DJ Moore and Cole Kmet and Mooney, but they will bleed the clock out, and they already have a 14-point lead, but they're not comfortable just yet. Little fake toss. Throw it away. Good decision throwing it away. Let's go. Hopefully we'll get somebody to start it. Third down and 7, 17-3 to Bears. Shotgun set. There we go. Good play. That was a good play right there. First down, Bears. Good vision, good burst. Didn't dance around, just went downhill. Nice job, Khalil Herbert. There we go. 1 hour and 13 minutes in. One doll hair. 99 to go. Thank you. I appreciate you. Goats, goats, goats. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. $1. One doll hair. 99 to go. $99 to go. Let me know what you want to do for photos, and I got you.
linebackers.
Got you. Shotgun set. Fields. Little check down. Bad throw.
St. Brown would have started with like second down and 10. Yancey is doing, again, a very good job of mixing up looks, creating some frustration for Washington's defense, keeping the tight ends from time to time in to help out. That time they did. Keep an extra tight end with Mercedes Lewis off to the right there to affect the pass rush with Montez Sweat. So anything they can do to just try to make it look different, keep the same play calls, but the presentation very different in this first half.
Snap is high.
Alexa,
Oh, baby. Look at that. And as long as you can get past the initial D line, Washington's linebackers and secondary are ass. So if you can just find a way to slither your way past Payne and Chase and a lot of those guys up front, there is a lot of wiggle room to be able to get some extended yards. You just have to pray that your offensive line can just step up and block a little to just get past, the rest of those guys. But if you can't get past that first initial line, it's going to be a long night. But you just got to get to that second level, and then you get to that third level. Third down and 1. Little tush push. Quarterback's best friend is a good O-line and a good running back. And it's not like he's going to sabotage himself and just not play well. He wants to get paid in the future too. First down and 10, whether it would be with the Colts or a different team. Fields, get out of there. Don't fumble. Hit him with the hezzy and got hit by Chase Young.
This is what they like to do because of his run game. Watch out the Chase Young. The numbers are where they want it. Everybody's outside. Look at Chase Young. No one's a pass rusher, but a good job of anticipating. The defensive front sees empty. They're alert to Justin Fields as a threat to run. It's up to them if the numbers cleared out of there. It's empty. They've got to make plays like that.
Second down and 10. Shotgun set. Fields. Nice job by Cole Kmet. Sometimes it's like I can even predict the plays before they do them. Like I kind of feel like an OC where I'm like, okay, where would I go if I'm calling the plays? And sometimes there's like a rhythm and a pattern. If you notice the play caller, you just try to put yourself in the, in the headset of the OC, and then, okay, I'm going to go here. And then in a couple plays later, I'm going to go here, and you can kind of feel the rhythm. And I feel that it can be predictable, but again, if you got a dumb defensive coordinator, or a defense that can't make the plays, and sometimes you can tell by formation too. Trips left. Shotgun set. Third down and 4. Good blocking downfield. Floater. Got a man. Oh, incomplete. Went to Darnell Mooney.
Mooney tries to use the big tight end to come back to his outside, uses him as a screen, just tries to run behind him to affect the coverage.
Yeah, and Cole Kmet, usually one-on-one with a linebacker, is going to be an advantage, even though he's not a top 5 tight end. He's probably a top 12, but sometimes he can put up a performance in fantasy like a top 5, where he'll end up getting 2 tutties in the red zone. Cairo Santos kick is up, and it's good. 20-3. Dubas. Yeah, got to get those up. Hopefully we get some more people to come through. I mean, it's Thursday night football. I know it's not like necessarily the best matchup, on paper with the Bears and the Commanders, but I mean, literally, what else is on? What else is on? I guess some people are more football fans than others then.
expect from the ultimate electric driving machine. For the 2024 BMW iX Xtra 50.
I know my worth.
Car insurance easy. As easy as getting personal with Playmates. Buying and play for it. Teach what a pancake luck you can't base 350 super sweet. But I can base 350. It's just a play. Okay, I have a play name then. It's called Double Pump Fake. I'm stronger than you. I can bench 350 and I'm a good tackler. That's not a play name. Get a quote on Amazon for the next flag. It's easy to get. What about Red Zone 120? I'm good at football. I'm a good football analyst. And I open the lane better than anybody. I go block, 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 block. I block it here. I block it there. My new ringtone.
Flip it. Let's hear your Let's get you ready.
With 16 grams of protein per can and chunky spicy chicken noodle soup that eats like a meal. The first half is winding down, but live betting on DraftKings Sportsbook is heating up with hundreds of ways to keep the action going all game long. And now you can give it a try with this exclusive offer. Bet on the money line, the spread, the over, the under, the next play, the next score, or even your favorite players. All you got to do is download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, enter the promo code, and snag your exclusive offer. The crown is yours.
Yeah, that should have been defensive pass interference. I'm watching the replay. That would have led to another touchdown. Maybe Mooney or Komet would have gotten that, but yeah, they're showing the replay. Oh, he's all over him. He hits him. I mean, when they slow down the tape, you can really see it. But he hits him like a second or two before even the ball gets there.
Had a chance to lead him and organize this before the game. Also on the Philadelphia 76ers, the New Jersey Devils, and the National Hockey League. So he's got a good start. Good for James Harden and the 76ers. Trying to build a new arena there. Trying to build a new stadium here.
20-3. Dubas.
Not much, but this town is ecstatic.
The Jets, yeah. Well, especially when they care about making money and, trying to, take advantage of Taylor Swift's 94 million followers, and they're trying to get more fans from there. They're just using each other, That's just how it goes. It's sad, but when someone has that many, and then eventually they're going to try to see, as long as Travis Kelce and her are still dating by towards the end of the year or beginning of next, they'll probably try to get her to do the Super Bowl, even though they've already announced, a few people, or at least one person that's doing it. Was it like Chris Brown is doing it or something? Like, who's the one person that they've announced for Super Bowl so far? Oh, intercepted. There we go. But the Super Bowl show ain't going to be like it was when we had like Dre and Eminem and Mary J. Blige. I mean, that was going to be the best one. You're either going to do that or like an epic like rock one. But yeah, this sounds like this, whatever it's going to be shitty. Usher, stupid. Who the hell is going to want to watch that? Everyone's just going to go eat. That's stupid. Usher, dumbest shit ever. And I like, R&B and hip hop and stuff, but that's just not for the Super Bowl. Stupid. It's a pick party. It's a pick party. Sam Howell looking like shit. All right, baby. Time for some more points. Shotgun set, field, screen pass. Pass got tipped at the line. And everyone thought Washington was going to be up 20-3. Not today. But even though they've given up all those points, the Commanders' defense is at 4. So it's not all the way down to like 1 yet or anything like that. Bears defense is at a 12, but no one's going to be crazy enough to grab the Bear defense. and play them. I mean, I imagine there's some crazies out there that did it, but Khalil Herbert, short game. And I just finished season 1 of Dexter, watching the original one. So I'm going to watch all like 6, 7, 8 seasons. I've already watched it before, but to be able to go back and watch it again, so good. It's so binge worthy too. 2-minute warning, 20-3 Bears.
Unless you find something really weird with pizza, like fashion pizza.
At Midas, our skilled techs want you to be confident on the road, and confident driving starts with top quality tires and precision alignment. Stop by Midas today to buy 3 tires and get the 4th free. Let's match you with the right brand and price for your vehicle, so you can embrace every season, every climate, and every road with confidence. Roll into Midas for big savings on a new set of tires. Request your tire appointment today at Midas.com.
Whoa. What is
All right, looks like we ended up getting a sub, which is good. I mean, like I said, even if they're just coming in sporadically here and there. All right, 920 to go to 21,000, 20 to go to get to 20,100.
Amazon Music's main stage returns. The only place to see your favorite artists perform new music live for the first time. This week we got Chicago's own Lil Durk taking stage. Stream it on Prime Video tonight after the game.
TCF, the official TV partner of the NFL, brings game day greatness into your living room on the biggest screens in the industry. This game day greatness big screen moment features the Bills, whose Q4 victory was highlighted in part by Stephon Diggs. Diggs caught a pass from quarterback Josh Allen, evaded tackles from Dolphins defenders Taylor Coburn and Brandon Jones, and sprinted to the end zone.
20-3, Dubas. DJ Moore pass from Justin Fields, 20 yards. Cairo Santos with the extra point, 7-0. Then we got a field goal to make it 10. We had one person on the staff, Ryan Fitzmagic, that picked the Bears. Everyone else went Washington, so he's happy about it. And then another DJ Moore pass. Joey Sly field goal to get him at least out of the the gutter. And then Cairo Santos with another field goal. 3rd down and 7, 2-minute warning. Shotgun set. Hand off to Herbert. There we go. First down. Bears. Keep pumping those legs. Look at that. Wow. Move the chains. That was a sweet run. Best run today. There we go. Khalil Herbert. See, you didn't really have any other options in fantasy.
Interior to be able to get up and impact again those linebackers. There's no one there.
7.2, 72 yards. Now, if you can get a tutty with Khalil Herbert either in this half or next half, that'll probably put you around by the time it's done, somewhere between 14 and 20 points, and that could help you win. He's got good momentum. This is the best that we've seen Khalil Herbert do in a minute. So, and obviously the Washington defense is playing uninspired football, kind of like the Bears were in the first 3 weeks of the season. Besides last week where they played some inspired ball against the Battle of the Bads with the Broncos and the Bears. But the Bears should have won last week, and they kind of let that slip away. They weren't going to let it slip away again, not when Fields is playing good. You can't afford to have Fields play good and then have it slip away. Johnson's out with a concussion. Well, that's more Khalil Herbert then. More Khalil. Khalil. 2nd down and 6. Fields. Run. Go. Nice slide. There we go. You might be able to hand it off here to him and have him score. the flow of the game right now. They're going to get at least another field goal, but I mean, this isn't the Washington team we saw against the Eagles. What it is, it's a trap game and playing down to your competition. And we see it in sports all the time. You gave all your effort against Philly, right? And then you went to overtime and lost. Then you came in, oh, we got the Bears. We're going to smoke them. We're going to beat them by 20 or more. And then you come out flat like this. Shotgun set, first and goal. Look for Cole Kmet. Touchdown, ESP. I told y'all. I should be calling these plays. Like, I can predict so many things, formations, what down it is, and just who would be the guy to get the ball, right? Who's going to end up making the play? I mean, there's more than just Tony Romo with that ESP. 26-3. Dub Bears. I can also tell by like the formations too. Like I said, depending on where you're going to throw that football in those passing lanes. And especially when you get that close, Cole Kmet is the number one option once you get within the first 7 yards in. When you're on the 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're not going to hand it off, that's the number one guy to go to because he's going to have a huge advantage against the linebacker. If you end up going to Mooney, he'll be covered. If you end up going to DJ Moore, it's better to go to him from the 20 to the 20s. So you got to be able to use your weapons appropriately, and going to those deep routes to DJ Moore was correct. And he got the 2 tutties. And then the close one, that's Cole Kmet's style. And if you watch Bears football, you'll know that. And if we end up having that scenario happen again, Cole Kmet might end up getting 2 touchdowns also and getting another one in the second half. Nice job. 27-3. Dub-Bears. Well, at least Fo King Money got 15 out of Cole Kmet. But if you would have played DJ Moore and Cole Kmet, then he'd be sitting at 45. But he's projected to still win, 134 to 105. He's going up against the chosen ones that's got Dobbs at quarterback, so who's actually been decent, but
We took some time to reflect. We tried new things and foods. I was thinking about getting piano lessons. And I'm getting really good at golf. Anyways, next year we should all go together.
Honey. NyQuil Severe Honey. Powerful cold and flu relief with a dreamy honey taste. NyQuil Honey. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever, honeylicious, best with a cold medicine.
The 3 for me only at Chili's. Serves a bottomless drink, bottomless chips and salsa, and a cheeseburger fries for just $10.99. It's 3 for me, not 3 for us. This Chili's 3 for me is the best $10.99.
3 for me. Man, I haven't been to Chili's in years. Oh, hello. This is kind of like a James Bond jump off. What do we got here? Or is this just like a commercial?
Oh my God. Experience
007 Road to a Million. That actually looks kind of good. Usually the Bond movies are kind of like, like the Tom Cruise movies with like Mission Impossibles. They're usually going to be entertaining. There we go, 27-3, and you got to be able to utilize your weapons at the appropriate time, using DJ Moore at the appropriate time. I knew on that play they were going to go to Cole Kmet, and as long as he didn't have stone for hands that he was going to score, he did. And if they get close again, and every time the Bears end up getting within the 10-yard line, look for that play. I mean, that's going to be the number one option to go to. And, you just have to be able to make sure that they have weak linebackers, and they do, and they took advantage. He's flowing tonight. Oh, I'm doing them every week. I was going to do more, but like I said, doing Monday Night Football and doing a lot of the games, like I said, I have to be able to, it all depends if I do Sunday Night Football or not, So if I do Sunday Night Football, I can get, maybe 2 or 3 done on a Sunday. But if I don't do Sunday Night Football, I can pump out like 7, and that's, getting closer to the 16. But I'm going to try to get 12 or more done every week. I would prefer to get 16 done, but sometimes the games are shitty and it's not even worth a reaction video, but I'm still trying to do as many as I can. Shotgun set. But again, I don't get anything for them. So, if we get the proper support, through the live streams and hopefully, some donos and support for all the hard work I do with the reactions, yeah. Now, you just want to be able to put in that hard work and get compensated fairly for all the time and effort and energy. But I'm going to continue to keep doing them for sure.
This defense has not been able to win the line of scrimmage all year. They've not been able to.
Yeah, it's called Dick Butkus' fucking spirit, you dummies. Al Michaels. Hello, Kirk Herbstreit. It's what it is. It's football gods. Okay, spirit, effort. And you had a good game with DJ Moore and Fields last week. Hello. But no one anticipated, Washington playing this bad. It's one thing to have Chicago overachieve, but Washington to underachieve like this. So third down and 8. Shotgun set for Howell. Little check down. Antonio Gibson. First down, Commanders. 3 seconds left. Good. I read all your comments. And like I said, yeah, like I told you, if you actually, do it, right, and you put that stuff there, your comments will usually get the highest response or one of the top, depending on how many comments that we actually get. I would like to see more people comment on the videos and stuff too, but we have to get into the algorithm so that way we can get like trolls and kids and haters and those people to get the reaction videos. But again, it's all about the tube and getting into the algorithm to get it in front of more people. And Washington fans boo. $27-3 Bears at halftime. And Ryan Fitzmagic will get all the love at halftime. And it's because Dick Butkus died, you dummies. That's why. I'm telling you, spirit is real. Emotion, passion, energy.
Yeah, it's 0-0 to us. I know that's coach talk, but that's what we're going to tell them. We got to focus and we got to finish.
Yeah, especially when you're 0-14 and 0-4 this year. But to be able to get your first dub on the road and to play like this, and they're going to know what to do. They're going to pound the rock with Khalil Herbert. They'll still look to get DJ Moore and obviously Cole Kmet the ball. Maybe you'll even get Fields with an RPO, and maybe he'll end up getting a touchdown himself. But there's like 0% chance for Washington coming back and winning this game. Now, is there a chance that they make a little bit of a run with Uncle Mo? Yeah, there's a chance that they make a drive or two in the third or fourth quarter, but they are emotionally already done thinking about what's for dinner, what's the next game. And when you already are thinking that the game is over, then it is over. Big facts. The Marvel. Yeah, for a team to lose 14 straight games, looking pretty good. And then the last 6 quarters, Justin Fields, 39 of 53, 73.6%, 520 yards, 6 TDs, and 1 interception with a 134.6 passer rating. And that's why you pick the Commanders defense. You look at that, and then you decide, nope, not today. And you give them back to the wire and see if some other sucker is going to gamble on that. I'd be hella pissed off. Just really happy that I didn't go with something that was actually a thought of mine for a second. And sometimes, you'll have a really good game the previous week, like Justin Fields and DJ Moore, and we could easily be sitting at 27-3 Washington right now. But really what the difference is the O-line and the defense for the Bears actually showed up today. And when that happens, then Fields will be able to work. But when the O-line doesn't try and the defense is terrible, then the score gets flipped, kind of like what Washington looks like. Like this Washington team looks like they're 0-4. They don't look like a team that is 2-2. So 12 for 20, 189 passing yards, 25 rushing yards, 3 TDs with 131 passer rating. That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to look at his fantasy real quick. So Fields is already at, holy cow, 22.26 already. Cole Kmet's at 15, and DJ Moore's at 30. We haven't heard, that's crazy. And no one would have all those three in fantasy unless you're a Bears fan and you were just like, I'm going to grab those three. All right, we're at the halftime show. Great. I'm happy that Justin Fields, like if I had my perfect scenario, what exactly is happening right now is what I would want. Now, would I want the game to be a little bit closer with Washington? Like I would hope that they would have I don't know, at least 17 right now or 20. So it's actually like a really fun back and forth, but maybe we'll get something in the second half. Juice bet on the wrong team because he didn't consult your boy, and now he's going to lose money. That's why you got to consult the Oracle. I mean, hell, I've already predicted the DJ Moore touchdowns, the Cole Kmet play touchdown. I mean, like you can just tell. I mean, if you play football, watch football, and routes, scheme, you can get in the OC's head. Love it, man. Love it, love it, love it. Seeing Justin Fields get better because we don't want to have 4 quarterbacks in that draft suck. We want to have Justin Fields, and Trevor Lawrence. I mean, we already know Zach Wilson's garbage. Mac Jones is garbage. Trey Lance is probably going to be garbage. So it's like if we can at least have Justin Fields play good, then, at some point if they decide to trade him or they build around him, Like imagine if they had a Bijan Robinson there, a number 1 left tackle there, a number 1 receiver like a Marvin Harrison Jr. there, a really good top end D tackle or DN there, stud linebacker like Roquan or a Khalil Mack. Like you start like plugging pieces in. Maybe they keep Justin Fields instead of trying to get Caleb Williams. And then if Justin Fields can play better and improve, then you beef up on the line and they can make a big difference. Like it wouldn't be the sexiest thing to do, but if you ended up picking like a left tackle and a right tackle for the Bears that were like the best in the draft, that could end up being like Hall of Fame players. Think about what kind of impact that would have for the Bears. It would probably be the most non-sexy thing to do, because everything else would be quarterback, running back, wide receiver, DN, linebacker, safety. But if you ended up going like tackle guard, tackle center, but then they pan out to be like Hall of Fame or Pro Bowl guys, I mean, that could be more impactful than just getting like a quarterback, wide receiver, like a Caleb Williams and a Marvin Harrison Jr., especially if the line is still shit, Sometimes you got to think outside of the box.
You look at what the Broncos were able to do. They finally started trying to get the football down the field in the second half. That's some big explosive plays. You got to slow this Bears offense down. But Justin Fields and them look hot. I think really you look at that side of the football, and Justin Fields and the Bears D offense continue to run it because with a lead in these kind of games, you got to be able to move the chains and keep that clock moving and get your own plays.
And honestly, going into the game for all the people that skipped out on the game that thought it was going to be terrible, that's what happens. When you think something's going to be terrible, it ends up being much better than you think. And not all the time, but in this game, I mean, yes, it's still a blowout, but since the Bears were so shitty and they're playing so good, there's like a level in interest. It's like, oh, Justin Fields, like, these are the type of games that I like looking forward to because I want to see if, you're going to be made. Are you going to make it or are you going to break it? Are you going to, are you going to be able to achieve? Are you going to go through that adversity? You know what I mean? Or are you just going to keep failing over and over and over again? And everyone will give credit to Justin Fields and Eberflus and everyone there, but really the MVP tonight is that O-line and that D-line for the Bears and that defense. And if they weren't playing as good, then we're not getting any of these plays because Fields has no time, and then he's just getting sack lunch by that elite Washington D line, 8 times in the first half. And it's kind of nice to be able to see them play some decent football.
Just imagine Mahomes and Mahomes.
Well, I'm trying to go undefeated, so I'm on a mission this year. You know, I tried to have the best draft, which, you know, I got scored. I did. I'm trying to be in first place the whole year. So far I am, but it doesn't matter. You know, you can go 13-1, 14-0, have a shitty week in your 2-week playoff, lose, and then the whole season is just down the drain based off like, you know, rivalry matchups. That's where I lose in fantasy a lot of the time. I feel I can outwork and I can draft better and I can do everything I can to get there. But if I got like, you know, a matchup where it's like, oh, I got Mike Evans and you know, but I'm going against Saints defense in the playoffs, that's not what I want. But I don't look that far ahead. I just draft, you know, but it just seems like a lot of times, you know, in those playoff games, you get the rivalry matchups, Seahawks players going against Niners, Cowboy players going against Eagles, and that's what screws you. Unless you have replacements on the bench, and usually good teams do. But if you're going from like Jay Jetta, Keenan Allen, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then you got to deal with like Hollywood Brown and then other guys below, could it work? Yeah, but you're not going to probably get as many points. You'll get like 15, but that other guy, the Jay Jetta, the Keenan Allen, the Amon-Ra, they might get 30, and that's what you need to win. And that's where I think fantasy is a little bit about luck. And also just, you know, hopefully the matchups are in your favor and they don't necessarily have to be green. But I think a lot of times in fantasy, you can tell who the best people are. But, you know, at the end, it is a little bit of luck, you know. But I feel good about this year. Like I said, I feel that I did a strategy that was really risky. I've never done it before. And not having good running backs is a little weird for me. But normally I go running back heavy. I haven't won recently. So I said, fuck it. I'm going to go wide receiver heavy. You know, I'm going to make sure I get some good tight ends. I'm going to make sure I get elite defense and kicker like I do every year. Elite quarterback early. I'm going to set the tone. I'm going to set the tone of the draft. And it was always going to be, you know, Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts. That's where I was going to go. I definitely could have did Josh Allen also. But I just, you know, when you don't have good pieces, like you're hoping that, you know, a certain position group pans out, it gets a little scary, you know, but as long as that weak position group gets you 10 points or more from each guy, sometimes that's all you need, you know? So it's like, oh, I normally my running backs get 15 to 30 points. Now my running backs are getting more like 8 to 12. But if my wide receivers are getting 30 to 40, then it all evens out. So hopefully I can get the dub. Goats, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Goats. Yeah. Plus, I always like to try to be projected for the most points every week or up there with the top couple, you know, and definitely I think it's one of those things when you play in fantasy and you look to see who you're playing. And, you know, if you see a 130 and you're at like 109, you're like, shit. You know, at least I know that's how it goes for me, or like how it went for me in the past. Like, you know, you feel pretty good. You could have a good record. But then when you look up and you see that projected that's like 10, 20, 30 more than you, and the games haven't even started yet, you're like, oh my God, like, what did this guy do? Like, you know, and that's what it is the intimidation factor too. But you can also be projected for 130 and then finish with a 70. That kind of shit happens also. So it's not all peaches and cream. The goats. But I do like Justin Fields, but I don't like Justin Fields on this team. Like Justin Fields, like on the Niners, you know, Justin Fields, you know, like, and I'm not saying that they're going to go to those, you know, but like good fits for him, like Eagles, you know, Niners, you know, obviously would be a good fit. I don't think that necessarily the Chiefs would be a good fit because their supporting cast isn't very good, and that's what might hold them back this year. Like, it's kind of feeling like as Von Miller comes back, which it sounds like rumor he's coming back this weekend, but if the Bills defense keeps playing top 2, top 3, top 5, they're going to go to the Super Bowl this year over the Chiefs. You know, like I said, I feel like the Bills, like Miami's kind of like that sleeper team, and they always could do good. Chiefs are not as good as last year. No Bieniemy. Wide receiving core is thin. and I don't trust some of the players that they have on there. It just feels like it could be the Bills' year finally, like when you should have probably gone a couple years ago, but the Chiefs got you in overtime. They got you on the last second. This year, you're the better team. So it's kind of like that transition from Dodgers to Braves. The same thing as the Chiefs to the Bills. I think as long as they don't get Allen or Diggs hurt, or, I mean, they already have Tre'Davious White going out for the year, which sucks, but I think they can recover from that. Matt Milano and some of the other guys that they have. I can definitely see a Bills Niners Super Bowl. That's in my head. That's my number one choice. And then if it's not that, then Bills Eagles would be the second choice. But that's kind of how it's looking. But injuries can shake that all up, you know. I don't like Kadarius Toney, and like I said, Juju should have been re-signed, and it just the offensive line doesn't look good. Defense looks very shaky. It doesn't have that feel as a normal Chief team. And what no one is talking about is Bieniemy, and they're like, guys on the videos will comment, "Oh, that's disrespectful to Andy Reid." But the thing is, it's always better to have smarter people on the staff. Andy Reid is amazing. He might be arguably the best coach that's coaching right now. Belichick is known as the cheater, but Andy Reid might be coach actually ranked number one in the NFL for everything that he's done besides Bill Belichick, and he didn't do it cheating, right? With the Eagles and obviously with what he's doing right here, so and the Chiefs. So, but I don't know, it just feels different, like a torch is being passed, and as long as there's no injuries, and it's hard to go to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. So sometimes if it's not that team, maybe it's going to be another nice run. First down, Commanders. And it just feels like maybe the torch is being passed, and then Bengals aren't good this year. Like Miami's still a good team, but their defense is suspect. So then we saw what the Bills did to them. So it's like, it feels to me, and I'm just, it's my ESP, but I know a lot of people will copy that, but I'm also looking at depth. Who's got the depth? Who's got the O-line? Who's got the D-line? Who's got the coaching? Who's got players that are clicking? We thought Josh Allen and Diggs were beefing, but they're not going to be beefing when they're in the Super Bowl this year. And if I didn't really believe that, I never would say that. I'm not really the biggest Josh Allen guy. Kind of like Joe Burrow and Mahomes a little bit more, but maybe this is the year, with the running back crew. And remember, I said they need running backs. They need better ones, not Singletary, Zach Moss, some of these guys. You need better. And then now with James Cook and, Latavius Murray, it kind of feels like this might be the right combination. It's not the best, but it's like two guys that are top 40. One guy is a top 20, but sometimes the Cook guy can play like a top 14. And sometimes if you play like a top 15 back, it might be good enough, because a lot of their backs have been kind of shitty, and that means less running for Allen, more production. And then obviously Diggs is playing like he's the best receiver in football. He's up there with Jay Jetta. Like, where everyone's like, oh, Jamar Chase. And Diggs is like, me, hello. It's like, it should be like Jay Jetta, Tyreek, right? And then obviously Diggs. And then obviously Devontae Adams and Jamar Chase and some of the others that are Amon-Ra St. Brown are right there too, But as far as like intimidation factor, right? Jay Jetta, Tyreek, and the third guy is Diggs. And you can argue at times he's just as good as the other two, sometimes even better. Like last week against Miami with 3 tutties, the spin move, and then he ran for another like 30 or 40. Who the fuck is doing that? But also, too, remember, if Jay Jetta had a better quarterback, imagine what his stats would be. He's already like the number one receiver last couple years with Kirk Cousins. Imagine if he had Josh Allen. Then he's putting up numbers even bigger than Diggs, where he'll be getting like 4 touchdowns in a game, 200 yards receiving. And if you don't believe me, well, let's just wait and see, if he ends up getting a quarterback better than Kirk Cousins. And if he does get a top 5 before his career is over, you are going to see some fucking crazy ass numbers from Jay Jetta. I mean, Tua and Tyreek is a good combo. Mahomes and Kelsey is a good combo. Allen to Diggs is an amazing combo. But Kirk Cousins to Jay Jetta, I mean, sometimes it's great, but a lot of times it's just like, eh. But he still gets big stats. Incomplete. Oh, Nagy blows. He's terrible. Some Chief fans want to argue, or what. I just call it how I see it and keep it real. If a team is good, you're going to know it. If my team's good, you're going to know it. If my team sucks, you're going to know it. But I have to keep it real. But people get so defensive when they hear shit, when either they don't believe it or they do know it's true, but they just are in denial. And they're like, fuck that, but then they're like, God damn it, he's right. And then you can see like who's playing better football. You're not going to win every year, But for me right now, barring any injuries, we should get a Bills-Niners Super Bowl. And then if we don't get that, it would be Bills-Eagles. I think those are the 3 best teams in football. And I don't know if I'll see that changing unless we have a major injury with those teams from here on out. I'm very bought in with San Fran and Philadelphia because of their organization and how it's run. Kansas City is usually the pristine organization in the AFC, but the roster doesn't look as good this year. They're not as crisp. And the Bills look like they're ready to take it, and they will. Touchdown, Washington. Logan Thomas. There we go. There we go. Nice job, Logan. When people do the videos. Yes. Yeah. So just do it on Twitter then. Just do it on Twitter X, and then just go through and you can look up stuff, and then you can end up finding a video when you look up the player, Terry McLaurin highlights, boom, and you just type it in the search bar, Terry McLaurin, and then fans will, have their little threads. You can look at recent or whatever. You go to the space bar, boom, 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 and then you find the maybe recent highlight. Then you just put your, comment above it, and then that's how you can build a following that way. You see what I mean? Little pump fake. Good effort by Sam Howell, looking like Baker Mayfield out there. He's like, look at me. I'm a shorter Caucasian quarterback, but I am crafty. And that's one thing that I can respect about those short guys, regardless. It doesn't matter, white, black, Asian, Mexican, but if you get a Danger Russ, right? Or you get someone that's smaller, or at least appears smaller, even if they may be 6'1" to 6'3". When we see these little guys, sometimes, they look like they're 5'9" to 6 foot. But even if you're 5'9" to 6 foot and you're strong, you're going to have heart. You're going to get in. You're going to get into the end zone. You're going to make plays. I mean, of course, it's better to be 6'3" to 6'8". You got longer body, longer arms, longer legs, But if you got that dog in you, because your boy got the dog. But if you got that Steve Smith senior energy in you, which I do, all right, and you got that dog in you, there's nothing that's going to stop, Steve Smith. And that's one thing as a Bucs fan, out of all the guys, I mean, I saw Julio in his prime. I saw Steve Smith in his, but to be undersized, and to be that kind of dog, I really respect that, because not many people would have been able to have the career that Steve Smith did. And even when he went to the Ravens, he was still badass. Better on the Panthers, though, but still badass on the Ravens. Big facts. All right, Sarah's at a 7.6. We need to get that up to about a 10 to a 14. A Tutty will solve that problem. King Money still at 15. 30.7 still sitting on the bench, though. I mean, and he's lucky enough we'll probably still win. Person he's going against has got Dobbs, Pollard, Achane, Romeo Dobbs, and Joshua Dobbs, Gabe Davis, Dalton Schultz, Allen the Lizard Lazard, Baltimore D, and Jake Elliott. But on his bench is all the injuries and all the players that he's waiting on. Eckler, Kupp, Herbert, Amari Cooper, Deshaun Watson, Drake London, Hunter Henry, and Jonathan Taylor. So he's got Jonathan Taylor, Herbert, Cooper Kupp, and Eckler, and he hasn't even been able to use most of those guys this year. So I imagine if he was able to use those guys, he might be 3-1 right now or something of that nature. And his record is 1-3. That's tough when you have all those amazing players. But again, picking Cooper Kupp, you already knew that he was going to be out more than likely a month and maybe longer. And if you don't have other players to survive, you're sacrificing a top pick, like a Jay Jetta player, when you pick a Cooper Kupp there, because then it's then you got to wait for your turn, and then you get nothing out of your first pick. That's a recipe for disaster. Matt Nagy, the best coach on planet Earth, just like with Matt Canada. That's what Sarah wants for her Colts. She's like, I want the best of the best on planet Earth. 27-11. Yeah, it's good for football. I mean, even if people are haters or whatnot, it's impossible to be a hater to Cooper Kupp. It's You know, seeing a Caucasian wide receiver play like Steve Largent, but better, literally statistically had the best wide receiver year of all time. Like when they won the Super Bowl with Stafford, it was better than anything Jerry Rice ever did. And he's the best and he's the GOAT, right? But Jerry Rice never had those kind of yards, those kind of touchdowns, you know, all of the statistics. I mean, it was just incredible. The yards, the touchdowns, the receptions. I mean, it was one for the record books. Yeah. And it shows you can be a dog shit team, have an elite coach, and be interesting. And that's what Sean McVay is. And I know a lot of people, when they heard me say Kyle Shanahan and McVay, they're like, well, yeah, Shanahan's good, but McVay sucks now. But you have to understand he doesn't. You know, like intelligence-wise, I mean, if I was going to be friends with guys, like it would be, you already know who it would be, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay for the brains, and then the realist, you know, not the dumbest, you know, not some like, person that doesn't know football, but the realist, Dan Campbell. You know, you give me three guys. Those are the three guys that I want to have a beer with. The two smartest guys in the NFL as far as calling plays and, you know, and obviously intelligence, and then having the guy that's the realist. I mean, what's a better combination than that? The realist is the bodyguard and he'll beat the shit out of everyone. And then the other ones, you can have just a fun conversation. And then if I had to add one more to the table, it would be Mike McDaniel from the Dolphins. That guy's an OG. He's young, smart, and he's super intelligent too. He's right up there. He's real also, which makes it a good combination. He's like a combination of Dan Campbell and Sean McVay, like wrapped into one. That's Mike McDaniel. Real, funny, chill, right? But also intelligent and has a different type of work ethic and a different type of play scheme that's super brilliant. You know, and of course, if you're going to model your game off, you know, like a Kyle Shanahan McVay style, that's a lot, you know. I mean, shit. And you got to think the Washington Redskins had both of them in the coaching tree and let both of them go. So that's like, like not understanding what greatness is, and you actually had it and you let them go. So, but sometimes you got to go out of a place that doesn't believe in you to a place where you know that you're going to get a shot to have people understand how brilliant you really are. Because if they were still on Washington, they'd probably be bum ass assistants and they never would be getting the love that they deserve. So. Oh, absolutely. But Dan Campbell's better. Yeah, but crystal ball, I mean, it all depends if you were a former player, but if you were real and if you played like O-line or D-line, I'm going to respect you a hell of a lot more than if you're just like a fucking quarterback. You know, it's like, oh, you're a quarterback, you're John Elway. Oh, but you don't know how to fucking evaluate talent, but I love you on the field. You're a GOAT. You're one of the top 5 all time, even maybe better than Dan Marino, you know, and you guys are always going to be linked, right? So many Super Bowls. It's like going to 5, only winning 2, but at least you lost the initial 3. But at the very end of the career, the last 2 years you won. And that's what makes Elway's legacy like amazing. But he wouldn't have won it without guys like Terrell Davis. And we know that. But some guys are good evaluators. Some guys are good coaches. But yeah, Cristobal and Campbell are, Mario Cristobal is a poor man's Dan Campbell. But I like him more than Dan Lanning. But Dan Lanning has landed the most defensive recruits going into next year, 9, which is number 1 in college football. I have a post, but you don't have Twitter X, or if you do, follow me, and I'll send you all this duck information. Floater passes low, and I think he dropped it. But I always have a lot of duck information that I go through. I don't have a lot of duck people to send it to. Like I have a lot of people that are like wannabe duck fans, but like real duck fans, like go to the games, like actually know the stats, know the names of the players, not just wear the gear when they go out and like floss and like, oh, look at me, I'm a duck or a beaver, which I assume you guys get that in your hometown states where you get these like fake people that just rock the gear because they know it's swaggy. You know, they're like, oh, I'm going to rock the gear because this is the swag gear, you know, but they don't even watch, or they watch like a little, you know. There's different levels of fandom, but you know what I mean. Nothing wrong with being a bandwagon or a fair weather. If that's who you are, then that's who you are. But we're fanatics here, you know. Let them know, Matt. And I was just going to let you know, but look, and I already knew you were going to bring up the LaFleur, so that I was waiting for you to bring it up. But McVay, Shanahan, right, McDaniel. But the big one is LaFleur also. You know, it's like you had all of them there. And how the hell do you have LaFleur, McVay, and Shanahan? You literally could have a mastermind, but the thing is each one of them has that like ego and personality that you wouldn't be able to keep all three on the staff together. You'd be able to keep two, but not three. Too many bumping heads, and obviously 3 head coaches that are all successful. And it shows you sometimes when you're a shit organization, you don't even realize the gem that you have. Like, you're like, oh, yay, we have Riverboat Ron. Okay, but what did you have an option to if you would have been able to develop, but you didn't realize that the quarterback coach or the OC actually is a billion times better than anybody besides Joe Gibbs, but you're too stupid to realize it. And that's what happened when you had the old era, right? But they got rid of that Dan Snyder era. That was a terrible era in sports. $1, is that good? $99 to go. And Raheem Morris, yep. It's cool too. Like if you go back and look at the coaching trees for like the Packers and the Eagles, and you'll be able to see like John Gruden and like Holmgren, and you like start looking and you're like, oh, no wonder these guys are good. And you also have to realize that these guys talk to each other. So then they're like taking ideas and play scheme from each other. So if you get 2 brilliant people working together, like, is it really that shocking that Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay are like, I still think to this day, I have to be the one that promotes them because no one else on social media will. Everyone else is just like delusional, like either Mahomes or, they have their own whatever belief, Cowboys or whatever. But I know what I like and I know what I would want. And I recognize greats. And, we have to be able to bring the greats and the GOATs up. Somebody does. I don't know. Not a good one.
In Washington, D.C. is the good news right now is that Herbert was able to walk off.
All right, we're at 1 nugget. Let's get to a point where we're at 10 nuggets. Herbert. Oh, everyone's getting hurt for the Bears now. Now the strategy changes. Okay. So with the strategy now with the Bears, it has to change because you wanted to be able to run the ball and bleed the clock out. But now you got Roschon and Khalil Herbert in the tent, right? So now you got to go to like 3rd string, and then Justin Fields has got to run. So now you're going to be almost hanging on for the victory while Washington comes back in this game. And Washington will come back, but not to the point where they win more than likely, unless they get that magical play in the 3rd or 4th quarter, the pick 6 or the fumble for a touchdown or a punt return, kick return for a touchdown. If they get that play, they will come back and win this game. But if they don't, then I see them, they'll get in the 20s. And then now the Bears are like, fuck. Because like you can't just RPO it with Fields. The D-line is too fast. So that means you're going to have to keep throwing the ball to Cole Kmet. And you're going to have to go to DJ Moore. You're going to have to go to, Darnell Mooney. And the only way that it's going to work is if that O-line is the MVP and wins the game. If the O-line ends up winning the game for them, they have to get the kudos. Because if the O-line starts like shit in the bed, and then the Washington has the Uncle Mo, then we're going to see this score go from, 27 to 11, 27 to 14, 27 to 21, 27 to 18. Like something's going to happen. But it's up to now with like, Eberflus and like, the gang. Okay, what you had was working, but now there's injuries. You can't just run the football and Justin Fields it. The momentum is shifting. Oh, look, it's my boy Eric B. Members only. Special. How are you? 2nd down and 3. Little check down. 1st down, Commanders. Oh, ball comes loose. Oh, baby, big turnover. There you go. A little bit of Uncle Mo. That's tough. I want to see a replay. But, on paper, this game looked like absolutely like dog shit. But sometimes if there's at least star players that are out there, like when Justin Fields is good, he's one of the like top 10 quarterbacks that are fun to watch in the NFL because you don't really know what you're going to get. And I think it's fun. But when you're 0-4 or you're the bad Justin Fields and you're unwatchable, like when the O-line isn't trying and the defense sucks and the play calling sucks, so there's like 2 levels to it. But at least that we got the good. I mean, Washington right now is just like delusional. They're just like, how is this happening right now? And how do you drop that ball right there? Come on, Logan Thomas, you bum. First down and 10. Let's see if Chicago can get any running yards with who is at the running back position now. Third string, Fields. And there's a sack lunch because you're afraid and you know you can't run the football. And if you hang on to the football too long, Justin Fields, you're going to lose this game. Bottom line, you got to make the quick decision, quick release, and you got to throw it away so you don't take the sack lunches because the guys are so good up front. If you take the sack lunch, they will punch it out. You know, it's not going to be a sack lunch. It'll turn into a turnover. I mean, that D-line is like, I don't know. It's like a bunch of fucking Roman Reigns out there. There's a bunch of big body dudes right there that will slam you to the ground. A bunch of brawn breakers, you know? Like, imagine if they actually had good coaching, right? Like, that D-line could end up getting, like, who knows how many sacks. Each guy could get almost 10 sacks. Incomplete. The Cricket World Cup. Who is the number one favored team in the Cricket World Cup? There we go, Cole Kmet. Well, like I said, Cole Kmet and Justin Fields hit last week, and then the Uncle Mo hit this week. So you got to pay attention in games to be able to predict, and that's when you know. Like Megan, I picked up Commanders defense, and I was going to possibly start them over the Bills, right? Because they were favored, green matchup, 7.3. Every time the Bears have gone against someone, I looked it up. It was 8 to 14 points in fantasy, and that's why they were rated like that. But then I was like, no. I was like, Dick Butkus died, and I was like, okay, I don't have a good feeling about this. I think this Justin Fields, Uncle Mo is going to continue. I dropped them. Smart decision. And, you know, now you get what you get. And sometimes you have to be able to make that educated but luck decision. But sometimes something happens, you know, like a Dick Butkus issue. And then that's like the deciding factor for me. It's like, do I want the Commanders? Like, even on the ESPN app, they were the number 2 ranked defense this week overall out of 32 teams. So, but your boy didn't fall for the trap. $20 holla. Thank you. Now I can buy 20 nuggets. We've been waiting for someone to save the stream. Thank you so much. This is before you, and this is after you. Thank you so much. Look who it is. A goat that showed up. Thank you. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Someone wants me not to be homeless. Appreciate you. Bang, bang. So I can eat some nuggets. A little 20 burger. Thank you so much. Let me know what you want for photos once we get to the commercial break, and we got 79 to go. Probably England. Yeah. When I did rugby reaction videos when I first started the channel, I had a really good following. And I do like reacting to, I don't do cricket reactions, but I do soccer and rugby, and I actually do enjoy it, even though I don't follow those sports. But like whenever I interact with the fans and they see how passionate I am about it, because I'm passionate about American sports. But, you know, obviously soccer is the most famous globally, NFL the most in America. And rugby is like that crazy combination of like football and hockey in one. And when you see people fight and getting hits, it's like, yeah, it's like watching UFC and football. Like if it was like NFL Blitz, but like real life, that's what rugby is. So. Members only streams are relaxed. Well, who would have thought? Because you actually got people that donate big and support, and you don't have any trolls or the haters in there, or the people that are stirring the pot. It's just going to be like the regulars, the people that donate heavy, and the people that know each other of being like the hardcore Hawk fans. Who would have thought that would be a safe place? Yeah, for us, we just have that every day here. But that's good that he has those. I mean, you need it. You don't want to have it like safe here and then toxic over there, even if you enjoy it. And then you just got to put yourself through the toxic, you know. Juice in the building, lost all his money. Did not consult your boy. And it's like, oh, I'm going to put all my money on Washington. And I'd have been like, you know what? Bro, I picked up the Commander defense. I even plugged him into my starting lineup. I'm 4-0. And I said, nope. I was like, Dick Butkus died? Oh, they're motivated. Because I know I would be motivated in that locker, and I would make sure the others in that room were motivated too. Dude, we're 0-4. You played great, Justin, last week. You played great, DJ. Let's go. Let's have the O-line and D-line actually do our part this time. Let's do it for Dick Butkus. Enough said. Meeting over. Ready. 1, 2, 3. Go Bears. And then boom, 27-11. But let me know what you want to do for certain photos and whatnot. Got you. And we can do Kraken stuff too if you like. I know NBA is starting up. Hockey's already kind of going into preseason. So it's exciting now. NASCAR will be wrapping up, but to get basketball and hockey, that's kind of exciting. Like, it might not be as good as football for me, but like I still like, I enjoy that.
Journey brought to you by Hyundai. Fields in that first half of the second straight week. Tremendous first 30 minutes.
27-3. Uncle Mo, like I mentioned, that Washington would come back. You know, it's like, you know, there's a lot of people that can predict games, but you also have to just look at flow. You have to look at injuries. You know, you have to see like how, you know, how they're running the routes. You know, and sometimes if you watch football close enough, you know, you can see tendencies. I know I can. Like, and I never played football on the college level. You know what I mean? If I was going to do something, I would be more a head coach or like coordinator. You know, if I was going to do something on like the junior high, high school, college level, or anything like that, like an advisor, you know, with the stats and the analytics. But I feel with like calling plays, you know, it's like also it depends on how good of a Madden player you are and like if you actually understand football. Damn, Khalil Herbert. You can't get any luck, Sarah. Everyone that you get is like gets hurt. All right, I'm going to choose some amazing stuff for you. Give me a sec. How much time do you have? Are you bouncing back and forth with streams? Is that other stream still going on? That way I know when to be able to give you the photos. I'm glad that we have someone that's like reliable, you know, that comes through almost every day and then does that, because like I said, that part has been tough. Oh, baby, Antonio Gibson. Oh, a little ESP. Move the chains, baby. Get that crowd going. It's like, I didn't pay $600 for these seats for nothing. Thank you. Yeah, we'll do some Jim Zorn too. And then we'll throw up some Jaws stuff for you. I'll just throw up all kinds of your favorite stuff. I would love to be able to throw up favorite stuff from other people, you know, but I guess this matchup was not good enough, you know, as far as interest level. But I mean, I don't think there's anything else really on. Is there any basketball? I don't think there's any more basketball games on today. And what is hockey going on tonight? So is it hockey and then just this game? There we go. First down, Washington. Curtis Samuel, move chains. John Dotson, move chains. Terry McLaurin, move chains. Logan Thomas, move chains. Antonio Gibson, move the chains. They got a lot of weapons. Nice. Jahan Dotson, move the chains. Okay. All right, give me a couple minutes here while this game is still going on. And then I got you. Appreciate you. Thank you. Every dollar counts. Look out. Oh, it's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a Chicago Bears sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. That looked like some Khalil Mack shit. That looked like some Roquan Smith shit. Just imagine if they were there. It's like Justin Fields got done dirty. Like they could imagine if Khalil Mack was still there and Roquan's, I mean, they've always been known, Urlacher, Dick Butkus. It's like the Bears without a good linebacker, then you know the team sucks. Because that's the leader of the defense. And if you don't got one, then you suck. All right. So let me grab the lunch. Well, God bless Megan. I mean, we need more, but we're getting there. She's been a real MVP for a while. 27-11. The Bears. Man, Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime and Peacock must be just fire to skip on a football stream. Because, I mean, even if it ends up being like shitty matchup, I appreciate the NFL so much that I don't want to miss, you know, Chicago Bears, Washington Commanders. And a lot of people can. They're like, I don't give a fuck. I only like my team. But for me, like, I love it so much. I don't want to miss any game, that is prime time, period. I'm an evaluator. How did he get out of that sack lunch twice and a pump fake? Who is this? Baker Mayfield? Tiptoeing in my Jordans. Tiptoeing in my Jordans. A little riff-raff. A little riff-raff. You want to listen to some funny rap? Listen, riff-raff. Funny rap, riff-raff. 27-11 to Bears. And he moves like Baker too. You know what I mean? When you get those like kind of like bulky Caucasian quarterbacks, they're not the tallest like, a Joe Flacco or a Justin Herbert. They're a little undersized. They're a little smaller. So everyone's going to kind of play like a Russell Wilson, Baker Mayfield type of style because Breeze is normally in the pocket. But a lot of those guys, that have that body shape, they're kind of scrappy, a little scrappy. Kick is up, and it's good. 27-14. Chipping away. Chipping away. I love football, the momentum, the back and forth. Yeah. Well, you shouldn't worry about, about like the football part, right? You got to just be able to do your stuff, the analysis and breakdown. Because I feel that, like the way that you word things, I know you're not an idiot. You know what I mean? Like a lot of us, the way that we type and the way that we speak, you could definitely tell the intelligence and the knowledge when you know certain things, when certain people do not know certain things. And it's good. It adds something to the channel because no one else does what you do. And you notice when you comment on my reaction videos, people like it. And then eventually they'll know, oh, this guy, Oh, this guy, the duck guy. It's like this guy knows things. He must have played a little bit of football. All right, let's get some photos up here for Megan. But before that, shout out to this guy right here. Been waiting, man. I had you in fantasy last year when Herbert got hurt. I had you and Geno Smith, and I loved you. I love Geno, love Justin Fields. You know how much I love Herbert. And I was like, I was in heaven. I mean, besides Herbert being injured, because I got magic out of you, Justin. I got magic out of Geno last year. All right. And it's nice to be able to see you like continue the magic for 2 weeks in a row. And if you keep playing well, they will not draft Caleb Williams and they'll get like 2 really good weapons, whether it be offensive linemen or like, Marvin Harrison Jr. or whatever they decide to do. And if you do that, that might actually develop the team better, especially if you ended up getting 2 like all-pro linemen on top of the guys that you have. It wouldn't be sexy, but, they even doing like linemen and like a Marvin Harrison Jr. type. I mean, that could be huge. And then you get some free agents to come over, then you get something crazy special. Like you got Justin Fields, right? And then you have DJ Moore already there. Right. And then you end up, getting the best offensive lineman, Marvin Harrison Jr. And then all of a sudden, Mike Evans signs on as a free agent. And then all of a sudden you have like some kind of dream team shit. You got to build up the defense a little bit more, but just a scenario where you just add a couple pieces, firm up the line, get some better guys on defense. Definitely got to get a leader at linebacker. You got to replace the Roquan Smith, Khalil Mack vibe. But if you can get like the best linebacker in the draft, boom, plug that in. And that person turns out to be someone like a stud, like an Urlacher. Then things are going to turn around. Not that I'm trying to talk into existence Mike Evans going to the Bears. I want him to stay on my Buccaneers. But just that simple impact. Can you imagine, just for a second, Justin Fields, Mike Evans on the outside, right? Marvin Harrison Jr. in the slot, right? As like the wide receiver best rookie, right? Rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year. Let's say he wins it or something, right? And then you already got DJ Moore on the other side with Cole Kmet. You don't think they would, and then the offensive line is firmed up. That's not going to ball. You still need defense, but then you're like, oh shit. Like, this kind of looks like a little Miami Dolphin jump off, on the NFC side. So you just add the right pieces. Offensive line will be important, but I think that what you see from Fields, could you get better quarterback play from Caleb? Yeah. But if you ended up getting guys that actually panned out, that weren't like flops, and going O-line, which I know they wouldn't do, but if I was coaching, I would, and that could change you could have the same pieces that you have now, but if you have the best left tackle and the best, center, Like, imagine how many more rushing yards you're going to get, how many more passing yards you're going to get, how much more comfortable Justin Fields is going to be knowing that he's not going to get hit up the middle or on the left-hand side. So it's like not sexy, but if I had the first and second pick, I'm grabbing the best left tackle if I don't got one already, and I'm trying to take like the best center or guard or, someone big, that would make an impact. But there would have to be two guys that are there like, oh, Jonathan Ogden and Orlando Pace. Yes, please. And I pick them both up. And then what do you think is going to happen? Then your line might be solidified with just those two guys. One guy on the left, one guy on the right. Boom, shakalaka. Walter Jones, Steve Hutchinson. Go to the left. Sean Alexander. Boom. You get 10 yards every time. High snap. Shit. Oh, look at him run. Get that first down. First down, Justin Fields. I'm rooting for him to succeed. And mostly Ohio State quarterbacks don't. So, and Oregon quarterbacks typically don't. So we've had a lot of failures, but even with Joey Harrington, Marcus Mariota, you got one guy that's not a failure, and that's Justin Herbert. And that's why he's going to go down as our best player ever, right? And then Justin Fields can be him, and CJ Stroud can go as guys, hey, we're good. Hey, Ohio State quarterbacks, we actually are not Cardale Jones. We actually not Dwayne Haskins, rest in peace. I can't believe that you're not with us anymore. But some guys panned out. Some guys didn't at Ohio State. And I miss Dwayne Haskins. That's why I brought him up. Rest in peace. And yeah, it's cool to be able to see colleges that are good, Ohio State and Oregon, but then like we're not good for something. So there's hate. Like, oh, you guys suck at quarterback. Fuck, I know. Like, why are you reminding me? Of course that we do good in college and then they suck in the NFL. You're not telling me something I don't know. Ohio State's heard that shit over and over and over. But now with Justin Fields, kind of like the RG3 Kaepernick type. And then you got the CJ Stroud, who's like the Burrow type pocket guy. Like you got two of both worlds, an RPO guy and then the pocket guy. Who's going to be better? The pocket guy, CJ Stroud. But Justin Fields, if he ever goes to another team, he will be coveted by teams like the Eagles or the Niners because you're going to get the most out of his abilities and he won't turn the football over because he's got too many good weapons around him. Elite coach, elite defense. Look at that throw. Amazing. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, did they say he went out? God damn. A little S for your life. I just got to talk it, and then it happens. Talk it, and then it happens. And I'm very critical about players, I mean, if I'm going to like them, I'm going to like them. If I don't like you, I don't like you. I'm going to get some more photos for Megan here in a second. When Justin Fields is balling, I have to watch it closely. Oh, yeah, you got to consult with your boy. No, it's like you got certain pieces, and obviously when you lose 14 games straight, what are the chances that this was going to be the breakout game? But sometimes the writing's on the wall. You should have won last week with Denver. You scored 30 fucking points. We've never seen Fields and DJ Moore actually look good besides like a little bit at the beginning of the season, like in a quarter, and when you play good one week, sometimes that Uncle Mo will happen the following week, especially if you don't play an elite team. So it's like, God bless it that we don't play the Eagles or the Niners. It's like, oh, we play Washington. We can beat this team even on the road. End of the third quarter, 27-14, the Bears. Rest in peace, Dick Butkus. Let me throw up a photo of him real quick, and then we'll get to Megan. Dick Butkus. But I don't give you like all the other ones that all the other people and the outlets will give you. I give you something that is a unique and original, and that's what separates me from everyone else on YouTube. Everyone else can throw up a photo, this one, or that one, something recent. No, this is what you do. You bring them back when they were alive and they were in their prime. And so you get to see what you're dealing with, right? Mike Ditka at tight end, one of the greatest tight ends to ever live, crazy son of a bitch, right? Dick Butkus, linebacker. Rest in peace, big brother. And if it wasn't for your passing, maybe the Bears don't win this game tonight. So your soul and your spirit carried over, and some of the players may have not even known you, right? But again, anyone that has any history for the game or tries to motivate, this should have been enough. Bro, we're good. We lost to the fucking Broncos. We shouldn't have. Like, let's stop feeling sorry for ourselves. Let's stop looking over our shoulder thinking Caleb Williams is going to be the next quarterback for the Bears because he's openly said he's going to make more money at fucking USC with NIL deals. If he doesn't want to go to the Bears, you probably don't even got to worry. It's like he'll probably go back and it'll be someone else, and then you can figure out what you want to do there. You feel me? But it will be exciting to see what kind of pans out in the draft. It will be interesting. Rest in peace, Dick Butkus. I'm an old soul. It's like I feel like I like looking at the OG, like black and white. The older, the better. It's like a weird feeling of watching like nostalgia and like me wanting to be the time traveler and like being able to sit in the crowd and see the clothes and having the memories of the clothes in the 80s and 90s and the trends and the styles, and nothing will ever replicate that. It was like you either experienced it and lived it or you didn't. And there's a reason why they copycat that era so much on TV shows and movies and songs, because it was the fucking dopest. That's just clear and simple, plain and simple. It's like they didn't do Stranger Things based off the 50s or the 2010s. You know, they did it based off the 80s. Epic era. Epic like this photo. Chief for Chief, my boy. Chief for Chief, you trying to win the championship for me? Are you trying to go toe-to-toe with Muhammad? Are you trying to go toe-to-toe with Muhammad, bro? You're playing great this season. You had an excellent draft and not a lot of injuries so far. And you're undefeated. I'm undefeated. And I mean, obviously looking at the teams, as long as we don't have any serious injuries, one of us might be champion this year. We play each other next week too. But whoever loses, even if it's me, it will probably face each other at least in the semis or in the championship. So 27-14, the Bears, where we thought the game was going to be like shit, but it ended up being awesome. Entertaining, especially when you have like a lovable loser like the Bears. I don't know. I always feel like I am an underdog. I always root for the underdog. I always make sure that I give that extra special juice, you know, through the sports gods, you know, and there's certain guys that I like rooting for. And I can also see the potential in certain players. Oh, incomplete. Where if like you see what Justin Fields is on a shitty Bears team, but just implement Justin Fields onto the Niners or Eagles and then imagine. And if you think that that would be awesome, then chances are maybe the player that you're looking at is a lot better than you actually think. And that's the seeds that I try to plant. You know, it's like I see Justin Fields and some people think he's average or sometimes not that good of a passer. And you're right? But also it's the coaching and the system and the supporting cast, the defense, Eberflus, everything, right? But if you put him somewhere where you have a lot around him, what are you getting? Is it positive, better than here? And if it's much, much better, then probably the guy is like a top 10 tier talent. And that's what Justin Fields could be, would be, and should be. But I still like CJ Stroud better than him. We're on a collision course. No serious injuries. What's good with you, brother? Are you watching any new shows? I'm watching, I watched True Blood, and then I did Grimm, and then I did a regular show for a cartoon throughout the whole thing. And then I decided to do, I did Dexter and a Mayans MC. So these are all, and then now I'm going to do Dexter from the very, very beginning. And I just got done with season 1. Took me a couple days. Awesome. The ice cream truck killer, just like such a good season. And every season is so well written and documented with the acting and just everything that Dexter is about. And I also figured out I love theme songs of shows that are great. Game of Thrones, it's implanted in my brain. It's a top 3 for me, right? Dexter, you know, with the little tones of the piano and the shaving and the spider, that is up there, top 3 for me. And then True Blood. Right? It's like when you got the epic intro, like even Grimm's is amazing, but the ones that have the music and you remember that, and as soon as that music hits, you lose your shit. Like when Game of Thrones was going on Sundays, as soon as that music hit, my phone went on the fucking counter. I'm like, don't call me, don't talk to me. I'm focused on this, because you got to focus on those shows, because when they're talking, you got to be able to see the scheming that's going on with Littlefinger, you know, and all the different people there, Jon Snow, King of the North, right? So I got to focus and pay attention to those shows. But I realize I love the theme song, because when I watch it on Amazon Prime or like Showtime or whatever, I have a chance to skip it and and I never do. I always listen to it on every episode. I'm like, fuck it, I love it so much. I'll listen to the 2 minutes and not go straight to the episode because it gives me that comfort and vibe. I don't know how to describe it. It's like having a favorite song. Hal steps up in the pocket. Oh, look at him. Look at this Baker Mayfield 2.0. Yeet. He's got a little bit of swag. CJ Stroud is a ball. And like I said, I did the reaction video and I got good results off of it. I mean, I could have got much, much higher. But we'll see.
Second and 5, extra pressure, fires to the outside, all man flat down. And Warren came back to make the grab, get the call from Novak.
No, but we'll get some. 30-14 to Bears. No new shows. And also, do you know why there's no new shows? It's because of the fucking Hollywood strike with the writers. So, whether people that read or just like, on your phone and, it's like, some people are going to read books and stuff, but I'm more of like, I need news. So, like I did the book thing when I was younger, but I'm more like, let me read. But that's why a lot of our favorite shows aren't doing it during the strike. And then, you have people even striking after the strike. Nice throw. A very Baker Mayfield throw. There we go. First down, Commandos. No, because they're not going to. They're going to lose games, but you're not going to win the NFC West. But it looks like if you guys keep it moving, you should win 9 to 11 games, and that'll be a good enough to get you to the wild card, and you'll be a dangerous team like Tampa Bay, where we're not going to be at the highest win total like the Eagles and the Niners, but no one's going to want to play either one of our teams in the playoffs because they know they can lose. You hear me? You see how I talk that into existence? And I really want a quarterback this year. So, like, I don't know. The sports gods are trying to teach me something. Like, okay, you're going to make the playoffs, but the right guy is going to fall into your lap. What is that? Bo Nix, Shedeur Sanders, Quinn Ewers. So but it's cool to be able to see Baker Mayfield succeed, regardless if you're a Bucs fan or not. It's like you don't even have to like Baker, from college or pro, but to see someone that had a tough time and a lot of coaches, and never lost the swag and the confidence, and then finally found a good fit and shows that, like, hey, I can even play better than even the most hardcore Buck fans think I can. Like me, like obviously I'm going to be kind of a hater. I'm like, oh man, I want to be good. And then I was like, oh, we got him to tank, and then, him with Trask. And then all of a sudden we're 3-1 and the Saints don't look good with coaching and OC and Dennis Allen. Carmichael O-line is bad, but Panthers are super young. Falcons are slipping. So it's like by default, I'm going to make it. You'll be fine though. Just got to make sure your injuries. You can't have a bunch of Jamal Adams all over the place. More Tariq Woolens and Devin Witherspoons, please. And I'll get you some more photos here in a second. Almost a sack lunch. Dexter. And I'm watching the show Dexter. Coincidence? And it's so good, man. I'm getting into season 2 now. It's like I can just sit there with Paisley and I can sit there for hours. I mean, I do a lot of reading usually while I watch and stuff, but it's so easy to watch a show like a Dexter or Game of Thrones or a True Blood, where it's like some people can watch like an hour or two. Shit. I can go for like 3 to 6 hour binges or seasons sometimes. Hal going long, going deep, got a man. Oh. If you were going to someone other than your tight end, like Scary Terry, they probably would have caught it. My hands. What happened to them? Oh, yeah, Matt. Matt, you still in the building? See if Matt is still in the building. But one of our Noah Whittington is out for the year. for our running back. So we're still like one of the number one ranked running teams in college football, but we're going to be losing him. But James will step up to be second string, so we'll be fine. Check down. There we go. First down, Commandos. Making it a game. A Chief of Brody. Yeah, did you hear what I said? The Noah Whittington, he's out for the year. I assume that you knew that. Or if not, then you're hearing it, but not good. But we'll be fine with James. And then the landing with the 9 recruits on the defensive side. Oh, what a catch. First down, Commandos. That Uncle Mo that I told you about, there it is. There it is. Ohio State or Texas for what? Like who I like overall? Like this year better? Like, I mean, shit, if Texas can beat Alabama, what does that tell you? Quinn Ewers is kind of the truth. Ohio State's quarterback plays good half of the time. They even benched him and put someone else in and said, oh, we fucked up. Put him back in. So, Ohio State's defense is always nice, but that offense is like kind of a work in progress. Texas kind of looks better, but we don't know if Texas can keep that longevity up. But they have Red River Shootout against Oklahoma. So if they beat that ass, they'll be fine, But normally you would say Ohio State 99 times out of 100. But it's like if Texas gets good with like an Arch Manning or Quinn Ewers, then you're going to say Texas. Because anytime you beat Bama or Georgia, or you beat Bama and Georgia in their building, you are a fucking G. I don't give a shit who you are. If you're Johnny Football with Mike Evans and Johnny Manziel, you are a fucking god. That's what happens when you beat Georgia or Bama in their place. And it doesn't seem like those guys are as good this year either. Like it feels like we're going to get a champion from somewhere else. They're like one of the teams will be there, but they'll get beat by someone else, either Big Ten or Pac-12 or a different conference. I was about to say Oklahoma. I didn't know what you were doing, man. I was like, man, you ahead of schedule. Juice is doing bets in the future. Like he's already going through like 2024. He's already doing like bowl game type of, he's trying to get predictions and ESP out of me way too early. That shit has to come to me organically. And I get the vision or I get a dream or I get a thought and then you say it out loud and then it comes true. That's how it works. You just can't put someone on the spot. Give me the answers. Doesn't work like that. 3rd and goal. Get it in the end zone, Washington. In the slot. Hal. Touchdown, Washington. Yo, boy. There we go, Curtis Samuel. That's what they should be doing bets on this channel. We're like, all right, what's he going to do next? There we go, baby. That's how you do it. You got plenty of options to be able to get the proper route. You're not going to end up going in the middle of the field to Logan, right? Because you can't trust him. You got to go to one of your receivers. You got 3 really good ones. It doesn't matter which one you go to. Curtis Samuel, Jahan Dotson, right? You got plenty of options. Scary Terry, Curtis Samuel. I mean, Antonio Gibson can catch the ball. Brian Robinson can too. 2-point conversion. Be creative here. Man in motion. Hal. And he got crushed like a motherfucker. And he throws it up and then intercepted. Trying to make something out of nothing. That was destined to fail. At that point, yeah, you get it, but you have to have a good play call right there. And so it's like you got to be able to do it like creatively. Like you got to do a jet sweep motion. You have to have trips left, trips right. Have 2 guys block, 1 guy get the ball, misdirection. Have some of the guys go left, go right. You can't just do a basic like passing play for a 2-point conversion when the game's on the line, especially when you had a brilliant play call from the touchdown before. Now that means that you're being lazy and you're not actually trying to get it to happen. You always got to be on your toes. That's got to be a better play call, Eric Bieniemy. Stop slipping. You're Eric Bieniemy. It has to be as good of a play call as the play before because their defense is, kind of on that point where they're going to stop you. And they did. 30-20 DeBez. 30-20 DeBez. I like this guy. Root for him. It's fun. It's fun to root for players that normally are supposed to suck from a college. Justin Herbert, Justin Fields, CJ Stroud. Guess what? Like them. Root for them. I will. DeBez, rest in peace. They're winning for you, big guy. They're winning for you, and I had to make sure I displayed you at your very best. Your shoulder looks like it has a dinosaur on it, chopping your shoulder pad because that's how good you are. And this might spark, their season. Like, sometimes I feel with like people that pass away and like when they pass away, right? Sometimes it's timing, right? And I feel that like this is a point of the season where it could have gone two different ways. You could have got this turned around and got the ship turned around, right? Or you're going to continue to keep going down the wrong direction, right? And then you're actually getting to a point where when someone passes as a legend, just like if Urlacher passed, it'd be a big deal. And you're gaining some really cool momentum now.
This October 10th and 11th, Prime Big Deal Days give Prime members exclusive access to 2 days.
I only hit you with the GOAT shit. I only hit you with shit that I would buy. Like if I had it blown up and had it on my wall, or I'd want it to like be a photo for like the player to sign. In this case, Dick Butkus would have to sign it in heaven, right? And I'd be like, bro, I got these amazing photos of you. Can I please have that auto? I mean, this takes you back in time. The people in the crowd, the pads, the helmets, the way the jerseys looked. You mean? You feel me? Let's go, baby. See, it's now Washington actually looks like they're an actual watchable football team, which they are. And the Bears don't look like they did the first few weeks. And, you look like you did game 3, and you're going to try to hang on to get the dub. Not JT in the building. What'd he do? Juice just lost all of his allowance money playing for the Commanders. You have to consult. But I love games like this because a lot of times people are like, oh, this is going to be a 9-6 game. Like how many people thought this would be combined 50 points? That's what makes football great. Like the haters and the people that just look at something on paper and they're like, suck, not watching, dumb. And then you end up missing out on memorable moments in the season, Not me.
Something going. We've been blasting Weaver running. We get Urban on the bench. They give it to blasting Weaver. Fullback obviously this. A running back picks up 5 here, stepping down. And
30-20 Dub-Ass. Now they're on their third string running back. It's like they wish they had David Montgomery. I mean, imagine David Montgomery that we just saw, right, against the Packers. And if he's on this team, how much of a comfort that is for Justin Fields and the rest of that squad. So it shows you don't have to be the most famous name, but if you can end up, being like under the radar, but people know you're good, but you're actually great, but people just consider you good. That's when you dominate in the NFL. Oh, damn. Put your shoulder down. You're going to get hurt, bro. Justin Fields' career is going to last 2 years if he keeps playing like that. And the goats, and the goats, and the goats. 30-20 Dub-Ass. 3rd down and 2. Obviously, you can definitely expose the linebackers and the secondaries for Washington. So it's just not getting sacked. That's just the bottom line. Can you just, get enough time to dump it down? Back it up and dump it down. Shotgun set. Snap is low. They need a new center. They need an Olin Kreutz, and incomplete. Olin Kreutz, where are you? Momentum. You feel the Uncle Mo? It's shifting. Like now you lose your starting 2 running backs, and now you're getting a little too predictable. And then Washington's going to feed off that energy in the crowd. Yeah, he was hugging him the whole time. Should have been a penalty. Hug, 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 hug. It's really funny with the refs how they determine when they decide to throw the flag and they don't, because there's holding on every play. But it's like in those key moments where they throw the flag and then you saw something worse a quarter before. That's what makes people angry, because then it looks like it's rigged or it's planned. Like there's an opportunity to keep the game by a certain spread or help a team with a key penalty get a chance to win, and then that's what the refs do. Like they give you a chance. And it's still up to the team that's getting in that favor to make it happen. And it's like either they win the game, or they fail. But at least the ref gave them that chance to beat the odds, beat the betters, beat the system, like script the game a certain way. And that's when the fans, including myself and you guys, we get mad, like when you see like very ticky-tacky shit where, and normally maybe that can the Jets and the Chiefs, where maybe you call it, maybe you don't, you know what I mean? But it did definitely determine the outcome. And obviously having Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, they're trying to be able to feed off her followers. So for the NFL to try to help out the Chiefs isn't like ludicrous or crazy. They're putting her on the header on their fucking Twitter and their Instagram. That's like silly. Like you're putting her instead of NFL players on there, which means that you are trying to get followers from her 94 million. Bottom line, you don't give a shit about the players. You care about money and ratings, and you're trying to capitalize when the iron is hot until Travis Kelce and her are no longer a thing. And then you can't do this anymore. So it's kind of shitty that like that's what they're doing and they're acting like that's not what they're doing and they're lying about it. But we all know that's what they're doing. And then the problem is it gets annoying now where it's like, I want to be able to watch football. I don't want, it's like, it's one thing if you bring it up like once, in a game, fine, but it's like continuing to pan. It's like they are trying to, the ratings and the followers and the money, and then eventually trying to get her to do the Super Bowl, and then that will be highly more. Super Bowl is already highly rated, but then if you get a bunch of like Swifties on top of that, they're no dummies. I just want to be able to watch my NFL and have it not all be about goddamn money every single second. Can it just be about like football for like 3 hours and then it could be like about money the other 21, like let me have my time. Too much Taylor Swift. But respect to her. It's insane to think if someone has 1 million followers, like how crazy that is. And then to have 94 million, like that many people are alive. Like that is fucking wild. And obviously there's going to be some bandwagon, Taylor Swift people that, are just doing it to do it. But I don't give a shit what anyone says. Anything that's at 1 million or more is incredible. And then you start getting into those big numbers like that. It's almost like sounds fake. But then you realize that's what the top people are at. It's like when you see soccer people like Ronaldo and Messi and you see how many people like love them and you're like, oh shit. Okay. So I guess for like R&B and like, for like the kids, like this is the big one, but even I was surprised. I was like, God damn, 94 million, do your thing. God damn, Swifties. It's a lot of fucking people. First down and 10. I realized that she was like big, but I had no idea that many million big. Like, that one shocked the hell out of me. Probably you guys too, if you've never heard of it. I'm tired of the Swift talk. I'm tired of it. Yeah, but I don't need to be seeing her on the TV though, because then it's like, you're just trying to capitalize, and just like that's what it does in WWE, getting Pat McAfee going to ESPN. Like everyone is eating off of each other and using each other, and obviously that's why money is involved. But just the simple fact that people are doing it, it's just kind of, but that's just the way things are. Yeah, I don't need to see her at every game. But like it gets to the ridiculous point when you actually go to like the website and stuff, and she's on the top of the header. 2-0 since Taylor Swift has been to our NFL games. Like I don't need to see that in your profile and then to see like a bunch of her at the top. Really? I get it. You're like begging and whatnot, but like golly, like you're begging like on the top tier. And you best believe she ain't paying. All the games are free. I'm done with it. That's why the NFL is, that's why when people are getting pissed, we have to understand why are we getting pissed? And then people realize, oh, she has 94 million. And that's just like on one like platform. It's more than that. Like, that's just like one section of like Instagram or, Facebook, just like popularity, YouTube, it's like you're up in the hundreds of, million, like it's like almost crazy to think there's that many people alive that are out there. And then there's that many that actually like her that much to follow her that much, like 1 million, 5 million, 10 million, that still sounds like bananas. But then you're going into like the 50 to 100. I mean, wow, that's like, I didn't know that many people are still alive on this planet. Like, I did my geography, but it just sounds crazy. Just kind of crazy to think about how many a million is, and then to do like 94 million. I just can't fathom what that looks like in an arena. It's like cities and, you know, just all of them. Swiftville, Swiftyville, 30-20 Bears.
Where he needs to go. That ball almost came out. Edmonds looks like he almost got his hand on it. But what a tremendous individual effort by Logan.
But good for her, you know, good for her to be able to amass, you know, that amount of people. I mean, at that point, you can pretty much do whatever you want for free. You've already won so many awards. You know, you never have to pay for anything. Anywhere you go, you know, people are taking pictures and whatnot. That gets old, I bet, very, very quick. Let's go Redskins, they say. And the Redskins, as long as everyone is cool with it, like, you know, the name and the logo to me is like one of the best. Like, it was one of the ones that never should have went away, as far as like, you know, as long as like the natives and the people are like cool, like, I don't know, they should go back to the old name. Chief says, I don't want you to be homeless. $5 holla. He says, I want you actually to be able to eat instead of air sandwiches, maybe a nugget. $5 holla. Thank you, bro. Bang, bang, bang. Congratulations on your fantasy success this season. I don't know. How many leagues are you doing? Are you just focusing on ours, or are you doing more than one? 26 doll hairs. Let me know what you want to see for photos, and I got you. And one photo that it won't be Taylor Swift, because we ain't doing that here. But let me know what Chief or you know, photo you want, and I got you. I got you, brother. Justin Fields, Chase Young, thumbnail extraordinaire, your boy. You know, this should be the side hustle next. You'll be like, all right, you need a thumb? I got you. There's a new Johnny in town. Oh, dogs, thumbs. It's cool to be able to finally have a style too, because that was something that, like, it took me a long time, you know, to be able to try to find something that you can do continuously. So everything, you don't want to have one thumb and then another thumb and like you're bouncing around, you know, like you just got to be able to have that consistency and that look. And sometimes it takes a while, but once you find it and you master it, it feels good. Curry. You having some Chef Curry for dinner? I'll be doing some Curry games. First and 10, less than 7 minutes to go, down by 10, actually making it fun. Howell going long, going deep. Underthrown. And there's a flag on the play. And you know what's crazy too? When you have someone that is a fringe, like top 12 receiver, sometimes you play like top 8, sometimes top 15, top 20, and scary Terry McLaurin. Why the hell are you not getting him the ball like on almost every fucking play? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you got other guys, but sometimes you got to go with like one of your best talents. And he is so underutilized. It makes me sick. It makes me want to throw up. But this will be fire. A little Dame Dollar to Giannis. Boom shakalaka. Blazer games are going to be super fun for the first time in like 10 years. And this is going to be fun. This is going to be like Bucks fans, but then like Blazer fans will be on board too. Support will be so much fun. And there'll be so many good games too, good matchups. It's like, what, you want Giannis with 50 or you want Dame with 9, 10, 11 threes? You choose. Scary Terry not being used is a crime. It's like you have someone that's like got Chris Godwin, Mike Evans talent on my team, and you're not getting him the ball. What? Why? I'm so confused. You know, and he's better than the rest. You know what I mean? But it's like if you just want to go to the open guy, but sometimes when a guy's having an off night, good quarterbacks will go to that guy. Maybe the route's not designed for him, but they go to him to get him the juice. All right, wheezing the juice. You need to get that swag back. And then that way, that next big play that ends in a touchdown. You know, that's when good players do. It's like when you're a point guard and you see that guy like, you know, hanging his head, but then he makes a big block and then you feed him the ball on, you know, going down after the fast break, right? Nice. First down, Commandos, because you want to reward the big man for the effort that he did, diving on the floor, right, and getting that big block or rebound. And we talk about certain players. We got the ESP. I say it, sports gods listen, and they say, you know what, O-Dog, I like you. I like NWSF. Let's make everything you say come true. How about it? And I say, okay, how about that? I mean, everyone would be a goddamn millionaire if people just made bets on the shit that I said. I don't know what the hell you guys are waiting for. I ain't doing it. At some point, you got to do it. I mean, bunch of millionaires on the channel. Why not? Floater. Wide open. One-handed grab. Check him for that. Stick him. You know, it's like I don't need to be a Washington fan, and that's why, you know, you even if you got him in fantasy, you don't got him in fantasy, but it's like it's maddening to me as, you know, being able to keep things not biased or keeping it biased and not have a biased attitude. But it's like you know when guys are good, and also if you don't have the right quarterback, OC, you know, team, then you get some guy that could be like a superstar, but you're only treating him like, you know, he's a guy out there sometimes. And it's like, and then you wonder why you lose certain games. Like if you would have went to heavy Scary Terry early, maybe the game is 30-27 right now instead of 30-20. Okay. Any other photos that you want to see before you go? And let me know what you want, Chieful Chief, at some point if we go to commercial. But if you want them next time, that's fine. I hope you feel better. Thank you so much for donating. You are the real GOAT and MVP. Megan, I appreciate you. Get up. I don't know how the hell he caught that. And now the Bears look like they're the 85 Bears. It's Richard Dent, Mike Singletary. Then they got a little Brian Urlacher, Mike Ditka, Dick Buckus. Appreciate you. All the love, all the appreciation means a lot. You know, lots, especially with the grind. No, I should. That's why I was asking before if you were gonna leave right now. Like we should do that real quick before you go. What do you say? It's good for the mental health. It's all about the mental health. Mental health is the most important thing. You got to protect that shit. Protect it. All of the protection. Yeah, you're coaching to win the game because that's what you're paid to do. That's what you're supposed to do. I'm paid to lose the games. All right, boom, shakalaka, a little mental health while they're walking an injured played off the field. And that way, you know, we got the bond, and I'll make sure we put up the good things that you love, and then you love it, and then you feel in a good mood, and now you can do anything that you want on planet Earth because you got to see the pictures he wanted to see, and I got you, even with the Funko at the end, and your boy knows. Have a great rest of your night or afternoon. See? Simple, just knowing what to say, what to do, the connection you have with the people. That's the separation and the difference here than others. Appreciate you. Thank you for the support, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Enjoy. I got that shit labeled for you too, so I'm going to keep adding to the file. At some point, I'm going to have like 100 things in there. What happened to my hands? Antonio Gibson, that's why you're not the starter anymore over Brian. And you're like, why is this guy fucking starting over me, this Brian Robinson? Because he can actually catch the damn ball, and you can't. Why? Who should you dress up for Halloween? Bo Nix. Hello? Is there any other choice? 46-yard attempt. Kick is up. No good. Wow, they're still in it. They are still in it. Oh. Let's see the snap. Fuck, man. Yeah, 7. I mean, that momentum too. I mean, if you would have cut that to 7, there is a good chance that maybe it could have gone to overtime or been really, really close at the end. But that was like the Bears hanging on for dear life. All their guys are hurt. We played so good in the first half. Sports gods, don't let this slip through our fingers. This would be way too emotional to like have the other team come back. Dick Butkus died. We got to hang on by a thread. And they're like, right here, the thread. And they got it. So now try to bleed the clock. Don't fumble the football. Akari Blasingame. 30-20 could have been 30-23. Washington doing Washington-ish is what they say. Oh, we're just doing the Washington-ish. Like fucking up. And the Bucks would do that shit too, but we corrected it and we didn't have Dan Snyder, thank God. That would suck to be like a Washington fan and then have Dan Snyder. That would make you like love the team still, but like just have like no hope until he's like not there. Hopefully he's okay. 2nd down and 4. So many injuries.
Big emphasis on getting the ball out faster for Justin Fields. Look at the numbers under 4 seconds, 26 yards for 3 touchdowns. I think that's as much about him having time to operate. And again, good density. Just continue to go down this path of finding the right scheme and the best way to attack defenses. And just the consistency. That's what they're searching for. I feel especially Fields.
Let's go, baby. It's like the lovable losers, right? It's like the Jared Goffs. You know, you can see the talent, you know, Justin Fields, you just got to wait. You have to be patient. Maybe you'll find your way on another team. And it might be a blessing that it's not the Bears. Or maybe it is, and they get the right pieces in place. But either way, I'm rooting for them. Just like C.J. Stroud. Those are the guys I'm rooting for the most. I mean, besides Baker Mayfield, of course. You know, I want to have him keep playing the way that he's playing. Shit, you know, keep playing like that. Keep playing that way. I mean, be a role model for Bo Nix and people like that. Injury update: Khalil Herbert, Rashawn Johnson, Travis Homa. Now they're on their 4th string running back. I mean, at that point, you would just not even have a running back there, and it would be just Justin Fields and shotgun set. Like when people do it in Madden when they're a kid or when you're playing against someone, you don't give a fuck. Like, what's wrong with that? Shotgun set, 4 wide receivers or 5 wide receivers, and just get rid of the football and have everyone run different routes, you know? And then you could be deadly. I don't understand why teams don't do that. Like they just get all of a sudden shotgun set and they do Hail Mary formation fucking just nonstop. Like, how are you going to stop that? I mean, unless your D-line can get there in time. Outside the box. 3rd down and 2. Oh, what a catch. Are you kidding me? I said, how many touchdowns do you want? 1, 2. ESP, what did I say? What did I say? Did I say DJ Moore get that touchdown in the second half? 3 touchdowns. How many times does a wide receiver ever get 3 touchdowns? Never, except for Stephon Diggs. Seeing sports gods, you talk it, and then it comes true. You know, you pay homage to Dick Butkus, right? You talk it out loud. You said, you know what? That's exactly what we're going to do tonight. And we're not only going to get our season turned around, we're going to pay homage to Dick Butkus, and then we're going to do something that no one saw us doing. DJ Moore, 3 touchdowns. How about that? Now the excitement in Chicago is back. Now Kyle Brandt will be happy on Good Morning Football. Now Kyle Brandt will make anger runs even better. Big impact. This is a game that is a season-defining win, is what they would call this. Look at that. Just like Diggs. And then you get behind him, and then it's DJ Moore showing you why he's so good. Not 1, not 2, but 3. And I don't know, man. Sometimes it gets scary when I can predict, but you can feel it sometimes. Just like, Peter Schrager with the Uncle Momentum. You can feel it, like he said when he stole it from me, And I felt that momentum from last game, and you can always tell when a guy is in a groove early based off his swagger and his body movement within the first 3 catches. And if he scores within the first 3 catches and it feels something special, then sometimes sometimes I guess if you talk it into the universe, then it actually fucking happens. And I don't even have him on my bench, but the guy in our league has him on the bench. Now I have to look up to see how many points that he has left there. I love shit like this. 49 points on the bench with DJ Moore. 50 points. So if you had DJ Moore, 50, think about how often you get 50 points in fantasy. It doesn't happen often, to have that Diggs performance. And look at this. 27 for 34 because the sports gods and O-Dog like you. 531 yards with the DJ Moore, 5 TDs, no picks, with a 158.3 rating. 27 for 34, 531 yards, 5 TDs, no picks. So it's when the sports gods love you and when Northwest Sports Fanatics loves you, and then I fucking show pictures of you and I talk about how much I like you and I'm supporting you, then all of a sudden, the DJ Moore and Justin Fields that we got last year at the end of the year, and it's been gone for 2 weeks, and we got it kind of last week, it's back. It's funny how a death in the organization can bring people together. Consciously, subconsciously. Same thing would have happened if Brian Urlacher would have passed. Oh, you don't think they would have came out with a fucking fire in their belly? Brian Urlacher, something like that? Good for them. Tough for Washington to go 2-3, but fucking... it's sometimes you don't have a shot. It's I remember when the Ravens played the Niners in the Super Bowl with Kaepernick. I knew the Ravens were going to win because they ended up having the one player like Ed Reed's, brother. Or, you had a player that got injured, motorcycle accident or someone died. And anytime you have a death or you have something, someone gets cancer, like with the Colts, and you get drawn to that extra motivation. And when you get that extra motivation of someone sick, someone dying, that's a part of the organization, crazy shit starts happening through the universe. And that energy that's positive literally trickles down to the players. And DJ Moore, 3 tutties, get the fuck out of here. Are you kidding me? What had showed you that he was going to do that tonight up to this point of the season? Nothing besides last week. And sometimes you just have to be patient. And I guess that's what I have to be. I have to be patient for my turn. Len Dawson. Yep. And these are just little things that you need to be able to look at when you're doing bets, when you're playing fantasy, when you're predicting games. You have to always be like NWSF and look at it, not black and white, but a gray area. And you have to dig a little bit and think outside the box. And then once you can kind of see tendencies and trends, sometimes, they continue. History is meant to be broken, but history also tends to repeat itself. So if you can notice the signs early, then you get a performance like tonight, which is awesome. And a lot of people said, fuck this game, right? A lot of people were like, this game's going to suck. The score is 57 combined. The goddamn Bears and the Commanders are playing. This game should be 9-6. We got a treat tonight. That's why I never underestimate a matchup on paper. I mean, unless it's like the Giants playing, then it's terrible. But you know what I mean. I've been entertained. So he had Cole Kmet with 15, but 49 on the bench. And he's projected still to win by 24, though, because the guy he's going against has Joshua Dobbs at quarterback. He's fucked. And then Fields put up a 33. Hell of a performance by Team Walker. Jerry's happy. Now he's projected for 127, and he's right on point with what he needed from him to keep up with Reflect. He was down like 20, and now he's like, if the rest of his guys hit, he has a shot to win with that huge performance by Fields. Nice job, Jerry. About time Justin Fields. And let me see who he started over him. He's got Fields, Purdy, and Purdy's going against Dallas D's, and then he's got Rodgers, and he's got Russell Wilson. So, yeah, that's exactly what I would have done, and good for you. Hell, I had Geno, Justin Fields, and Herbert last year, and I loved it. 37-20, crazy, man. And if you're obviously a Commander fan, you're sick, right? You're sick to your stomach. Like, you actually lost to the 0-4 Bears. But honestly, the Bears probably would have beaten half of the league tonight. Just as long as it wasn't like the Niners or the Eagles, they probably would have beat almost anybody else. Niners, Eagles, Bears, probably not, but everyone else probably. Seemed like, even on the road, they were in the zone tonight. And I root for Justin Fields on the same level as Trevor Lawrence, sometimes even more, honestly, because I think Lawrence, you should be that guy. Fields went to Ohio State like CJ Stroud, and I want him to pan out like Herbert, so that way we have guys that we can root for. It's my guy, dude. I love watching the football. He said minus the injuries. And your team has stayed relatively injury-free. And you're very top-heavy with McCaffrey, Devontae Adams, and Josh Allen, because I spy on your team and I know exactly what the fuck you have, right? But with 3 guys, you can get like 100 points. So I already know that you're like legit, And but the thing is, if any of those 3 guys get hurt, you're going to scale back and some people are going to catch you. And I think you know that too. So if Josh Allen has some bad games, or McCaffrey slows down, or if Devontae Adams gets hurt, then a lot of other teams are going to catch up. You're really top heavy, but you've also been getting pretty good numbers out of like the others, and sometimes the others, it doesn't look good on paper, but then all of a sudden at the end of the week, you're sitting at 10 points with this, 8 points with that, 12 points. And you're like, well, you know what? This wasn't that bad. Like, the name recognition isn't the greatest, but sometimes in fantasy you have like, kind of rando fillers and maybe not the best at the position, but you did your best with the draft and what you got on the wire. And sometimes you can make those names pan out and really be like hella impactful. But imagine having DJ Moore in our league and having a 50 burger on the bench. Got to consult with your boy first. I feel people like lose thousands of dollars. But no one anticipated the extravagant, but I had Commanders and I picked him up. I dropped him. I picked him up. I dropped him, had him in my starting lineup. And then I was like, Dick Butkus died. They are not going to win. No matter what's going to happen, the Dick Butkus spirit will lift the Bears to a win, even though they haven't won in 14 games. And boom shakalaka, you're getting a blowout. That's the spirit, man. People, the bond between people. It's a special thing. Kick is up, and it's good. Washington just lost half of their fan base. 40-20 Bears. I'll tell you what's cooking. That's what's cooking, baby. A little CJ Stroud, a little Justin Fields. And it'll be a big, big win for CJ Stroud if he can win in Atlanta. Like, every win that you get and the more passes that you make without throwing a pick, you might end up beating Dak. I think you need like 25, 26, and then you'll have the number 1 record in the NFL with the most consecutive completions and yards without an interception. And, touchdowns look good. He's looking like he even passed Richardson. Richardson was number 1 for a long time. And then all of a sudden now CJ looks like he passed him. And Richardson still is good, but CJ looks like he's top 10. Richardson doesn't look like top 10 yet, but he could get there. It's going to be very interesting to see how the AFC South pans out, but I would not be shocked if the Texans win the division. I mean, maybe I'll talk it into existence, but CJ Stroud, AFC South champs, Texans with like a 10-7 record. Sports God, you listening? $40-20. Damn, 60 points combined. Think about how many people in Vegas and on the line lost money today. Did you think that the over-under 60? 60 from a team that, but again, the Bears played good last week. But if you just have this vision of the Bears of what you saw in the first 2 weeks, then you're like, oh, Washington, I'm betting all my money. You got to watch those losses, even those like emotional losses. But when you score 30, 40 points in a loss, chances are in the next 2 games, you're going to get a win unless you have like really tough opponents. Perfect storm, man. And Washington is to blame. No Scary Terry. I mean, how could you? I mean, I don't even have him in fantasy, but second most in team history. 230 yards, 3 tutties on a, Dick Butkus, anniversary of his death. I mean, they'll never forget this. Yeah, and maybe DJ Moore doesn't even realize it. But like that'll probably be his like most career day ever. Like maybe he might get to a point where he gets 4 in a game. He is that good, or he could get 4 touchdowns in a game. But I guess it just depends on the flow of the game. You'd have to get 2 in the first half and 2 in the second half. But this also shows you that if this continues, then you can hang on to Justin Fields. You don't have to get Caleb Williams now. And then you can get the best offensive lineman, wide receiver, defensive star, linebacker, and then you can make your team better instead of starting over. So that's the number one thing that it proves to people that I can see just reading the landscape, that you don't have to get Caleb Williams anymore. Now you can end up getting the best player, whoever that may be. And it might be someone other than like a Caleb that could really help. So, or the first couple picks in the first, if it ends up being first pick, second pick, or second pick and fifth pick, you could really do some amazing things. Like if it was me, I'd probably get the best offensive lineman in college, the best one. Like hopefully that guy turns into Hall of Famer, and then get the linebacker or like that leader. It has to be like an impactful Chris Jones type of player or like an Urlacher, and then give me that, and then I'll feel good about what's moving forward. And then a couple free agents that want to join the potty. So that way that Kyle Brandt can actually be happy for once. He'll be happy tomorrow on Good Morning Football. I'll tell you that. He's smiling right now. He's wooing. He's fist pumping. It's like this is what Bears fans have been waiting for. They'll watch the channel. They'll take some stuff here tonight. They'll apply it to Good Morning Football tomorrow. Embarrassing loss, 20 points. Is there anyone in college football out of the people in the room that watch that you think that is like Orlando Pace, Jonathan Ogden type of player? And if the answer is no, then you can't really take that position. You have to be able to get the best talent. Like if a Micah Parsons is there, you take him. You know what I mean? Like imagine if you got Micah Parsons on the Bears defense and then the best offensive lineman, like a Jonathan Ogden, then you can do like what the Jonathan Ogden Ray Lewis draft. That's the second best draft besides Warren Sapp and Derek Brooks. Jonathan Ogden and Ray Lewis were in the same draft. So talk about hitting it out of the park. 2 Hall of Famers in the same draft, and then another draft, 2 Hall of Famers. Get the fuck out of here. 1 touchdown, 2 touchdown, 3 touchdown, DJ Moore. I'll have to put up a DJ Moore photo. That was actually entertaining. Denver Broncos, Kansas City Chiefs, and then imagine if the Broncos win. Then you really know that if that happens and that upset happens, then you're going to know the Bills are going to the Super Bowl for sure. Like, there's going to be tall tale like signs as we continue to keep going in the season to look at the Dolphins and the Chiefs and the other top teams compared to, maybe the top dog in the Bills. And then we'll be able to evaluate who's going to be the team that plays the Bills this year. I'm giving you guys the blueprint, or what they would call on commercials, the script. But I'm just getting it from the sports gods in my brain. You know, as a time traveler, it's my ability to give you guys the proper info. And it's like, even though that they like suck, like the Bears have, like, if they could just get good coaching and get the defense squared away, like you could actually turn yourself into a team that could be like a second place team in the division and something that could battle with the Packers and the, the Lions, maybe not so much the Vikings, but you could all like battle, in a 4-team race and you're not always last. And that's obviously what we want to get out of, right? We don't want to be a last place team or last place fan forever. It sucks. Especially if you go to last place fan for like 10 years or more. Like, imagine being me for 10 years, just like nothing to look forward to. Well, your spirit did it. They're like, you know what, Dick Butkus, your spirit lifted the Bears to not only a 1-point win, but a 20-point blowout because your spirit is with Chicago. They did it for you, big guy. And I had to throw you up. Rest in peace, brother. And Ryan Fitzmagic is the only one that picked them to win. I got to be able to listen to DJ Moore and Justin Fields on the mic. And another really good thing, if you guys haven't seen this stuff on the Pat McAfee show, watch the CJ Stroud interview. The guy is super intelligent, and I love the way that he is a ride or die for his friends and his teammates. That guy, like, if you listen to certain things that certain people say, like, that's the franchise guy, or no, maybe we have to wait and see. After watching him play and doing the reaction videos and then watching the Pat McAfee show, watching a few more interviews, like, that kid has got it. Like, you know what I mean? He's got more maturity than Justin Fields, and it's going to be really exciting to see both those guys develop. One is going to be like the cooler Cam Newton, and then the other one is going to be like that pocket dude. Exciting. 3% foam dog. 3% foam boy. Charger boy. Phone going to turn off, boy. All right, well, what do we want to do here? We're at the 3 hour and 26 minute. I'm going to watch a little bit of this post game. And then when Paisley comes in here and says, Dad, I love you, then I got to take her for a walk. But I love it. And I love this DJ Moore performance because for years, even when I started the channel, I always said that DJ Moore, Cooper Kupp, Tyler Lockett were my top 3 underrated wide receivers. And it's nice to see Cooper Kupp, take himself out of the underrated to now rated. And DJ Moore now on a showcase with Justin Fields together can shine together as a duo. And that's cool for the NFL and cool for sports. Because not only do you get one guy to shine, it's together. And there'll be that like Montana Rice combo, which is neat. Like, it's like DJ Moore getting one, fine, but like DJ Moore getting as many touchdowns as like a Diggs or a Tyreek or a Justin Jefferson, you're like, no, he didn't. And then when he does, you're like, wow, well, maybe he is the truth. And Lockett is, probably the most underrated. I like Nico Collins right now. Nico and CJ, I like to evaluate talent. And when you see something special or you see it, like, you got to acknowledge it. And I feel a lot of people in the NFL media and sports are lazy. And instead of watching the tape themselves, they'll watch channels on YouTube like this one. And then they'll just kind of cut their way through and cheat their way through with certain opinions and steal shit. But great performance by DJ Moore.
When you have a guy like that, a number one receiver,
but the thing is about him that's really disrespectful, you know what I mean, is that they call him a number one receiver. But the problem is, and I don't know why it's this, but everyone doesn't think he's a number one receiver. Like, I know it, like Panthers fans know it, but it's like, for whatever reason, if you're not a Panther fan or you're not someone that's not biased, like, everyone thinks that, like, okay, you're DJ Moore, but it doesn't give you the same pizzazz as Devontae Adams or Tyreek or Jamar Chase or Jay Jetta or even Amon-Ra St. Brown has more swag, right? Like, name recognition. Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, like, they don't even see him as like a top 10 guy, even though he can put up top 10 stats. And that's where the problem is. You have to be able to recognize that some guys are never going to be as well known as the others, but that doesn't mean a guy like that can't put up 3. And sometimes having a breakout game to be able to showcase this guy, right? But then also knowing that this guy's getting that love, that's a pivotal moment in this season for the Chicago Bears. It can only get better from here. But but a lot of people view him as a wide receiver too, like a Devontae Smith type, a Chris Godwin type, which is nothing wrong because we know those guys could be 1s or 2s, but but also the quarterback's got to get the guy the ball. You got to get him the ball. And if you know that you got a guy that is a 1, why aren't you going to him every game like this? You're not going to get 3 tutties every time, but if you go out of your way to get him the damn ball, then he can have like a touchdown, almost every game. And that's what the Bears need to be able to win games on a week-to-week basis, for him to get treated how Tua goes to Waddle and Tyreek, how Mahomes goes to Kelsey, and how, Jay Jetta gets balls from Cousins and Diggs from Allen. You already know Allen and Diggs, and then every once in a while in a blue moon, Gabe Davis, Dawson Knox, someone else. But I like seeing the guys get like the trios, because then it like shows, hey, you got a touchdown? Yeah, shit, I got 3, But you know what I'm saying? Look at the celebration right here. And right now, they don't know it. They just think it's them, right? This is Dick Butkus. It's a spirit, that is like willed them, and also feeding off that good emotion from last week against the Broncos. Finally got over the hump. And then some people will be talking shit like, oh, stop dancing, this or that. Yeah, you tried going 0 for 14 in the NFL. Yeah, you're going to be, this is like their mini Super Bowl. But that you're going to have moments in sports that you remember, and maybe this is the day that we remember that now the Bears have solidified that they are no longer interested in Caleb Williams. That's a pretty significant thing, and maybe he was like, I didn't want to go there anyways. Well, they don't want you. Now you can focus on the line, another linebacker, wide receiver, Marvin Harrison Jr., or someone better. Uncle Mo, momentum. Peter Schrager, you feel it tomorrow on Good Morning Football. The Uncle Mo, I'm telling you, that Uncle Mo and that Uncle Dick Butkus. God, I love watching sports because, like I said, the average fan, average, they don't give a shit about this game. They didn't watch it. They don't care. But the significance of this game is like Justin Fields getting his career back on track game. This one, 40-20, people will remember this one. Like the DJ Moore 3-touchdown game, like impressive. Sometimes you just got to talk it into existence, 2 to 3 touchdowns, and then it happens, and then it makes you feel good. ESP. There needs to be like live betting as I'm talking so you guys can like cash in, and there'll be like some like vending machine, boom, and you just like, oh, he said something, boom, bet on this, boom, it happened. Rich. Yeah, that's what I said. Reflect. Jerry actually got points there. Now you were up on him by like 20. Now with that great performance, the overachieving by doubling the projected, now you guys are going to go neck and neck, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, but if that didn't, like I said, if Dick Butkus didn't pass away, Justin Fields, DJ Moore, that shit don't happen. Maybe they win, but they don't win 40-20. You best believe. Maybe like 21-20, 24-20. I got to watch a little bit of these highlights. And like I said, when it's someone that I like to root for, like Michael Penix Jr., not for just reflect, but just for me as a fan, and understanding that if I was a Duck hater and I'm like not appreciating what I'm seeing, and he's a lefty, are you crazy? Left is my favorite. So it's like, and then I get to see something that could be better than Tua. Like, yeah, I'm going to watch every game and I'm going to love it. Like, who cares if it's on the rival? Fuck, beat Oregon. Keep going. Win the damn Heisman. But I almost don't want him to win the Heisman because I don't want him to have that curse. So if Caleb Williams wins it twice and he pans out, good for him. But it's like, I don't want someone. I mean, it would be a very great honor for Michael Penix Jr. to get the Heisman. I would be so proud. And I'm like a Duck fan. I'm like, yes, way to represent the Pac-12. And we're going to kick ass together in the Big Ten together, and it'll be us in the Pacific Northwest holding it down, It's like USC is expected to be great. Oregon, Washington, they hope that we're going to be great. But we can feed off that momentum. $2 holla. 2 more nuggets. A little bang, bang, bang. A little boom, boom, boom. Every dollar matters. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. What do you want to see for photos? Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm pretty like spiritual. Like it's like I feel like, I can kind of see things before they happen. And I'm not going to be right on every game or every little thing. But I feel that like I definitely can see things, and I feel that like with watching so much tape over the years, I can read defenses kind of like an offensive coordinator. And if I know the team good enough, I feel like that's where some of my ESP comes from. It's like I might have not played football like Tony Romo, but if I understand football like him, then maybe I can do similar things or even more often. Can't believe that, man. Awesome. Great honor for Butkus. We were just talking about you. Now you guys are neck and neck. That's what you needed. You know what I mean? Like what you exactly needed to make your guys' matchup fire. You got it. And then the DJ Moore was sitting on our bench in fantasy. How are you going to bench DJ Moore with 50? You didn't consult your boy. You left him. You have other receivers, and I see who you have, like CeeDee Lamb and whatnot. But based on what he did last week, it's that ESP. Lots of people lost money tonight on the spread, the over-under, and Washington winning. He said must win. Isn't every win must win in fantasy? Every win is a must win.
And you say, why aren't they getting penetration? Why isn't Chase Young dominating and tearing this game wide open?
49 points on the bench, and he's still favored to win by 24. That's tough, dude. Like, imagine like leaving 100 points on the bench and still winning. But I mean, some teams are better than others. So. Oh, no. Really? Oh, she's not happy. If you get a 50 point, that means your projection went up to 150 to 200 just with that one player alone. Like it just go, whoop, it just like skyrocketed. Yeah, that's crazy. I did see a fantasy score that was nuts though, where everyone hit with the Dolphins and the players. And it was one of the highest scores I've seen. It was almost 300 points. It was like 280. Like the lowest number I think was like 14. And there was a couple of like 40s, 35s. And it was like, holy shit. I was like, I haven't seen too many scores above 200. It happens, a few times. But when you get close to 300, that's like almost the like bowling a 300 game. Like you get close to 300, like you literally got 20 points or more every spot. And then some of your spots got like 50 like that. You got both guys that got 50. You had them both on your team. And then the quarterback had 44. Some other receiver got 39. You're like, whoa, but I guess that's how it's done. Oh man. Yeah. He might not be eating any dinner now. She's mad. She's like, oh, I was going to make spaghetti, but never mind. Top ramen for you. 50 burger in fantasy. Oh, I'd be livid. But I don't know if I'd be more livid if I was down because I was playing that or if I left that on my bench. I was like, oh, living on the bench. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I don't even know if you can be in the league anymore. Oh. But then he's still going to win, so it's not going to affect him. That's like when you learn life lessons, when you have a guy with a 50 burger and you leave him there. Any photos? Yeah, Butkus. Let's do the Butkus ones for sure.
For 120 years at JCPenney, we've believed if you're going to do something, do it all the way. We give 100% every day because it's who we are and who you are too. So seize the moment. Get the suit that lands the job. Set the table that brings you together. Wear the red that brightens the room. And give the ring that changes everything. Every day is a new opportunity. JCPenney, make it count.
You ever feel like the only place you can buy cars is in car commercials? Oh, this is a car commercial. This is an auto commercial.
Justin Fields, good job. DJ Moore, you're the man. Glad that you're actually able to showcase how good you really are. Makes my heart feel good. Rest in peace, Dick Butkus. You the man. Not other other channels can talk about it, but when we can actually give you the proper the proper look. that you deserve.
Here at Once Upon a Farm, we chose the new Capital One Venture
It's like saying it, but then being able to see it. It's better.
purchasing product adapts to meet our business needs. Love it. And unlimited
Love it.
miles means we earn more too. Sweet, right? And when we travel, we get access to over 1,300 airport lounges. I can get used to this. The Capital One Venture Business Card. What's in your wallet?
I saw that. That's funny that you you wrote that. They make an emphasis, unrestricted, like everyone says it whenever they talk about it. Like they emphasize on that. They're like, "Oh, let them loose." Lavish steak with the potatoes and gravy with asparagus. I love that meal. Honestly, like that meal to me is like one of the most like comforting meals. Like depending on like where you're getting it from, or if you know. But you already know with me, I always like the best of the best. So it's like thumbnails. It took me a while, but now I feel like, you know, you have my soul and my style and my artwork, you know, because that's pretty much what it is. It's like you are your own artist. And I always like to self-expression and give you guys like stuff that's like my personality and stuff that I think that you guys would appreciate. I love the old. I like photos that tell a story. Sometimes it's like TV shows and music and stuff, but sometimes it could be a still photo that really can make you kind of like feel like you can go back in time like a time traveler and remember or feel like what it would be like to live back then, wear those clothes.
Over my shoulder right here because the streak is over. Congratulations, Justin Fields, on that long-awaited win. Happy
Of course, you know, the team has been through a lot in the past, in the first few weeks, but you know, everybody kept their composure. Everybody did their thing, kept their head down, and kept working. So I'm proud of them.
These are very loyal fans. I know they want
Nice job, Justin. And you know what? I hate seeing people, great face mask. Yes. I hate seeing people just like, you know, that when teams suck, like, you know, depending on the fan base, you know, I'll have sympathy or no sympathy for them, you know, but then sometimes you just get certain players that you kind of like fall in love with and like, you're really rooting for their success, you know, like, and I'll be, you know, I'll have a few of them. I don't have a lot, you know, like I said, I only have 2, you know, this year, but maybe I'll have more. We'll see, but I don't like seeing teams just suck forever. And it's awesome to see the Lions doing their thing. And it's good to see Justin Fields and CJ Stroud doing some shit from Ohio State.
How did you stay focused and how did you stay locked in and then turn it around? Because a lot of people fold in those moments. Yeah, I mean, first I would say, you know, the people around me, great supporters around me. My family, people in the building, teammates checking out from the coach.
Everybody else talking about it. We're actually looking at it. The greatness. And like, it's cool to be able to put a name to a face because most people don't even know what Dick Butkus looked like, you know, and what that vibe looked like. And that's why it's my responsibility to pass on the greatness in sports because other channels won't. So you want to be able to be a part of something special? You're here. Look how big he is. Sweet photo. Against the Niners, too. Get out of here.
We were pretty critical up here of you and Luke Getsy. That relationship as the year went on, it seemed like he learned how to call plays for you and what you wanted. We had some turmoil early, but even the last 2 weeks, it seems like you guys really have an understanding of what you want.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like we grown. You know, personally, me and his relationship, you know, I'm really close with him and his family.
Look at that.
I think these past couple of weeks we found an identity in our offense. That's always good to have. And you know, once you do have that, once you get guys going, get in rhythm, you know, each and every game.
I would love to be able to go back in time and like watch like old school football and baseball.
So you guys traded for a player.
See like Mickey Mantle play, Koufax in person.
For 2
Willie Mays.
Yeah.
Old school football too, for sure.
Talk about that relationship. Why are you guys hitting the ground running right now? I mean, BJ is awesome. From the moment he's gotten here, he's done nothing but work. We've thrown a lot in the offseason extra, but I mean, you can kind of tell. I mean, when you throw to him, the first day he got there, you can just tell he was good. So, just those plays he made out there today. I mean, that's just
Rest in peace, big guy. You know NWSF's got you. We got you, man. At your very best. And I got to hit you with the white too. We just can't have the dark because we have to be able to know what it was like with road games. White is swaggier. Like the dark, it like gritty. You know, it's got that gritty vibe. But then the white comes out, and then it's at the swag. Like, oh, here we come. Super cool. Oh, for sure. Absolutely. If you had one of those old school helmets with the padding still intact, oh yeah, easily $300, $400, $500, easy. And then if it's signed, then even more than that. I mean, and some of these ones that have like been converted are just amazing. Like I feel like you can start to like kind of picture what it was like.
What you guys saw in that Jack Del Rio defense, because the touchdown, I think it might have been the first or second touchdown where y'all ran the 2 or 3 verticals. Yeah. The safety turned his back, you found it perfectly in the end zone. But then there was a cover one where it looked like he ran a sluggo against press coverage, but then you put it back outside and you hit it with a dime. What did you guys see that helped you find those holes? Yeah, I mean, the first one, we knew they were, mostly too high. So, the first touchdown was just a 2-on-1 on the safety, moving right up the middle, and the safety got on him, so that left PJ out there wide open. And then the second one, we knew they kind of played off towards the field, and their projects kind of jumping, so we knew right from the get-go. We got a great play, but we knew from the beginning this week that was going to be one of the players for the touchdown. Line did a great job blocking up front, and of course, PJ made a great catch.
I like paying homage to the old school too, because I feel that a lot of people are just like in the current, like what's going on now, but to be able to know the history is very important. Someone's got to be able to preserve it. It's like, like American Pickers with like the old school antiques. Like I got to be able to preserve, what was really special and what, where we're at now and appreciating.
I know one man is looking down on you and smiling. Unfortunately, before the game, we got news that the legendary bear, Dick Butkus, had passed away. When did you guys?
It's an epic photo.
Sort of what does he mean to you now wearing that Bears?
Now they're talking about him.
We actually found out about it when we saw it on the screen. So me and Mooney, we were talking about it. So we were in a big shock, but condolences to his family. But I mean, it just means a lot, getting a win, the first win in a long time. So Bears legend, he'll never be forgotten. We played for him tonight, so it's good for him tonight. So glad we got the done.
Thank you. We appreciate the time. We have a tradition here at TNF. Would you mind signing a moment for us? Thank you so much. Best of luck. We'll take a quick break here. We'll be more.
So if you would have picked up the Commanders defense, which was the number 2 ranked defense, they were projected for 7.3. They got -5. So sometimes you have a gut feeling and you got to stick with it. Well, I love you guys and I appreciate you guys much. Very, very, very much. But I'm going to spend some time with my pup. I think I probably got to go exercise some more, probably go for another walk. Thank you to everyone that donated, commented, shared. Is there any other photos or anything? Let's go through these one more time before we go. I mean, I already got them just sitting here. And then we'll take off. So let's just go through them one more time. It's worth it when someone passes away. It's like we're not going to be talking about Dick Butkus every day. But we will be talking more about Justin Fields, which will be good in a positive light, and some DJ Moore finally having his like Jerry Rice, Justin Jefferson breakout game. Very cool. I'll be rooting for both of y'all. Rest in peace, big guy. I got you, bro. Always. That one is so stoic, man. I love that one. My gosh.
It's almost like Skittles is listening in on our conversation.
Appreciate it. And hit you with the white. Let's go, baby. Rest in peace, Dick Buckets. They got that dub for you. Well, I appreciate you guys very, very much. Have a great rest of your night. And everyone that subbed, liked, commented, shared, donated, you guys are the best. I love you and I appreciate you. Reflect, all you guys are amazing. And I'll get you guys more photos next time I see you, which will be tomorrow. And then we'll figure out what we're going to be doing tomorrow and everything else throughout the weekend. But plan on recording pretty much every day. So I got one question for you. Who you know talks sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Appreciate every single one of you. Love you. And I'm out. Gang.